Hello there. Hello, chat. Good evenings. Hello, everybody. Good time zone. Good morrow. Thank Thank you so much for the follows and the hype train. What the fuck? We just got here. Thank you, Red, and thank you, Lance Up and Ruin. Thank you so much for the freaking subs. What the hell? And the biddies, Napa, Jing, hello. Thank you, thank you. Welcome in, everybody, for episode number 5 of Un Cafecito. And you know the cleaning music is on, so we're about to throw down. This house is going to be clean as fuck by the end of the evening or morning, wherever it is that you're at. You know, it's cool. Today, we have the lovely GeronimoKiddo. Everybody say hi. Say hello. You can say hi now, too. Oh, wait.
Is this the cue?
Oh, wait. Now, yes, this is the cue. Yes, the cue. We're transitioning.
This is my cue. Okay, we're transitioning. I was going to say, as soon as I was like, girl, as soon as start, this is starting.
Oh, it's because I do the voice first. I do the voice. It's auditory first and then visuals. Thank you so much for the follows. Hello. Welcome, everybody. Oh, my goodness. Who's here? Who's new? Hello. I see I can't throw stuff. I see. Today, we have no trash. Apparently, I forgot to throw off the tamas because that's connected to tits. So I can't control that one. Also, hi, Sam. Thank you so much for the first-time message. Hello. Hi, Porcupine. Hello. Who else is new here? Hello. Is it Tyresen? Tyresen? I'm so sorry. The languages are getting crossed in my head. Also, hi, Moon. Hi, Ruina. Hi. Let's see who else. Napa. Hello. Let's see. Hi, everybody. Hi, Jing. Hi, Red. Ruina, Lady Ace. No one. Ashby. Hello. D Shadow. Welcome in. Hi, Robin. And Lock and Loaded was popping. You've been vibing with the music. Let's see who else is here. Let's see.
Listen, Momo.
Yes.
One morning, it was like 6, 7 a.m. and I had to make chicken stock with all this emergency leftover chicken I was given from a friend.
Oh.
And I called Lock and Load and I said, you need to sing to me the songs of our people.
Oh my God, you did not.
I did. And he started trying to sing. He was so shy. He's like, suavemente. So he knows this music.
Oh, okay.
Don't let him.
No, you know what? That's the kind of people I want over here. Also, hi, Dappy. Hello. A Muffin. Welcome in. Hello. Ty. Baris. Okay. Thank you. Ty Baris. Okay. That makes a lot more sense. You know, when you speak 3 languages, it gets kind of fucked up in your head. I'm sorry. I'm just not that. Also, cool. Sexy and hi. Hello. I love the music. Look, this is the kind of stuff that be playing in my house. Like, I grew up with my Dominican mom, so like bachata was it. Also, hi, Crow. Ve, sueña, el mundo es tuyo. Like, this song brings me back. It takes me back to a great time, and then the trauma.
Right.
Also, thank you so much for the hype train, level 2. Thank you. What kind of email we got? We're spilling the tea. I kind of just indirectly did so by talking about my trauma.
Oh, wait, do we get the cups?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know, where's the cups?
So you have to open up the chest in the chat. El mundo es tuyo y ya no puedes volar conmigo. Ay, sueño. I can't help but like want to do the 3/4 step with freaking bachata. Oh, is everybody getting different emotes? Button mash?
Yeah, I think.
Oh, everybody got a different one. Ooh. I got the tea one, though.
I like the spill the tea one.
The spill the tea is good. I like that one. Hold up. Where's it at? Looks like it. Yeah. I was about to guess your heritage and I was close with 3 guesses. Hell yeah. Dominican, Puerto Rican. I'm that mixed island hatred for one another. They hate each other, but they get together real good. Then
now, you know, my son is Puerto Rican Dominican,
That's
right?
His
daddy's Dominican.
Mm-hmm. Oh, look. I know how it be. I'm the product of that.
Yup. There you go.
Look. We throw down real good in the bedroom, but then we hate each other's guts. Like, we can't stand each other. Unless you're like the kid. And so, like, you can appreciate both.
Yep.
So, like, but I know for like my dad told me stories about him and my mom, and like they was nasty. Like nasty. Also, but this is un cafecito, and it wouldn't be un cafecito without my cup and your cup.
Listen, I love your cups. I love them.
And then la greca. You know, this is the only one I can make. Like, obviously, I live in the Americas. And so, like, I don't have the right stove to have, like, a real, like, greca like this. I don't call it anything else. Like, people are like, oh, my God, that's like the little espresso. I'm like, no, it's a greca. Okay, that's what
Right?
my grandma
That's not
calls
what
it.
it is.
That's what my mom called it. That's what we all call it as like Hispanics. Like there ain't no. I don't know. I don't even know what the proper name in English is for this shit. It only comes to me in Spanish. That's all I have to say about that. My third guess was Colombia. No, that's one of my besties. One of my besties is Colombian. I have a Cuban bestie. I have a Colombian bestie. So, you know, we good. Oh, thank you so much for the freaking sub. I appreciate you. Welcome to the Garbage Gang. Enjoy your new emotes. We have screaming possums. So if you're into opossums, like, vibe it. I appreciate you. And your ad for viewing, of course. But today, are you ready, Geronimo, for me to, like, just blast questions at you?
Ma'am, I'm ready. I even got jalapeno poppers.
Damn. Look, you got snacks.
I was ready for this.
I should have brought my Lucky Charms. I always have, like, dry snacks. And I didn't have dry snacks this time. But it's okay, because I, like, shoved so much food down my throat for dinner today. I had noodles and gyoza and, like, salmon and a salad. So I'm like, I don't have enough. Hi, cool, awesome, dude. Hello, hello. When your mom and grandpa are talking to each other. Wait, what? That's like me and my bestie when she comes over. Like, I get loud and she gets loud, and then we just progressively get louder together. Is that a kettle for mate cocido? No. So like, what is this called in English? I need help. Hold on. What is this called in English? This is an espresso maker stovetop. So it's literally just called an espresso maker. Hold on. It's a Cuban cafe brewing pot for what?
They don't even know what to call it themselves.
So obviously we don't want to give Amazon money, but it's called the Primula Classic Stovetop Espresso Coffee Maker Mocha Pot for Italian and Cuban Cafe Brewing Greca Coffee Maker Cafetera. Greca and Cafetera is what I call this. Six espresso cups. You literally get 2 cups of coffee out of this shit in my house. There ain't no 6 cups. What the fuck you mean 6 espresso cups? Okay, this song is also fire. Baile del Beeple. Bam, 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 bam. El Beeple. Can you even hear? I want you to listen to this shit.
I was going to say, can you share it? Because I'm actually listening to like the same Spotify list. I have the Spotify.
Do you have the paid account where I can just share my jam with you?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Share with me.
Hold up.
Let's go.
Beeping. El beeping. Okay, how the fuck do I do this? El beeping. Come on, chat. Give me them emotes while I figure my life out, because I don't know how to fucking do tech on the spot. Oh God. Bum, bum, bum. I'm just gonna send you a jam invite. That's not the fucking link. It didn't copy. You motherfucker. Beeping. El baile del beeping. El baile del beeping. El baile del beeping.
Gimme. It's going. Launching. Open my Spotify. Let's go.
Let's go. This song is fucking fire. Let's
Join.
go.
What do you mean? Not now. What do you mean? No.
You still got time. Beeping. El baile del beeping. We'll get to talking.
There you go. Look at them. Look at those lalas.
Yes,
Look at the lalas.
That's appropriate. Yes. And the muggles. Yes. El baile del beeping. El baile del beeping. El baile del beeping. El baile del beeping. Come on, shit. How can you not? Okay, can you believe, chat, that there are people that will listen to this song and not vibe? They won't move. Like, they just, how do you not get like I gotta put my coffee down.
Not feel the rhythm.
I'm like, let's go. They don't deserve us. That's right. They don't. Yo, for real, Napa. For real. I kid you not. There are people with no like fire, no flavor, no nothing in their soul. And they'll listen to this shit. And I'm like, what? How are you not dancing? Good or bad? How are you not dancing? Sure. Pass that shit along, Luck. They are missing soul. Yes. Mm-hmm. See?
Okay. Play from Momo speaker. Do I want to join? Choose if you're joining remotely. Choose if you're joining in person.
Remotely.
Join. Let's go.
There you go. I see you now. This is the first time I've ever done a jam with someone. I dance, but I have no flavor or seasoning, so I don't ruin No, you're good, but at least you're dancing. Los mosca, like the flies? Los mosca, espérate.
Wait, what are you listening to right now, Nareda?
No, we're listening to El Baile del Beeple, Oro Solido.
Oh no, it says you're not.
What?
It says you're not. Look, it says not.
Oh, you just changed it to La Chona.
No. Oh, I'm changing it?
Yeah, you changed it. So like we can go back.
No.
Hold on
No,
here.
go back.
Here.
Thank
Now?
you. Yes.
There we go. I can't dance for crap, but I will move and vibe. Look, that's all I want. I want you to vibe. I want you to vibe and I want you to dance. I don't give a shit if you're dancing good or bad. Are you having a good time? That's it. We don't make fun of the people who have some flavor in their system. Look,
Do you remember beepers?
Yes.
Do you remember beepers?
I do. I do.
You were the cool kid if you had a beeper.
I never had one. I was far too young for that, but I know of them.
No, my sisters had them, and I remember they had to learn how to. You had to learn how to spell with numbers.
Oh yeah, T9.
I
remember that. Los Mosca. Let me put that on my little notepad to the side. What about the taxi song? I don't know what the taxi song is. And shake your hips. Look, there was a time where I didn't know how to shake my hips, and that was because I was a wee baby. It was like pure prematurity, if you know what I mean, before the happy times with other people. And so my family would make fun of me. So what I would do, oh, I kid you not. Hold on. Let me see. Is this thing connected? Look, I will show you directly. Hold up. I will show you directly what I would do. Let me see in my camera. I look like absolute ass right now. This is not going to be for you, Chad. This is going to be for Geronimo. Because we've seen a lot of each other. Let me see. So here. Let's see if you can see it. So I would put, it's a camera. You can put my
I'm looking.
So I would put my hands here and I would cock my head to the side and I would be like this. I would do this and everybody, cute. Dude, like I would just turn, like you would see my head here and it'd be like, and everybody in my family made fun of me. Everybody in my family made fun of me.
I could not. So my parents, everyone has gone through this. If they have any parents that speak a different language than English, they will start going off in their language very fast, and you are young and you cannot keep up.
Yeah,
I did not understand. Excuse me. So I sat there and I kept looking at my mom and my dad, and I'd go Hanoni Hano. What?
What?
And that was my made up Spanish. Hanoni Hano.
Ay, Dios mío. Let's see. Red, you had a beeper? Please don't disintegrate on me. Please don't.
I'm dying.
Don't. Yeah, I heard this song before. I don't know where this song is from, honestly. Estamos bien. Hello. Is it Mitran? Mitrandir? Let's see. Bless you. Who sneezed?
Thank you. I sneezed.
Oh, shit. I barely caught it. Came right. Can I get a shout out for Saya, please? But obviously, the name of the show is Un Cafecito. So, Geronimo, how do you like your coffee?
It depends. It depends. Okay, first of all, I'm a huge fan of Bustelo.
Oh, yeah, yeah, obviously.
You don't understand. Like, there's a passion there. Like, my wife came home. She's like, "Here, I got you some Folgers." I go, "What is this? What is this?"
I'm sorry. Wait, did you say she brought Folgers into your house?
She brought me Folgers. I go, "What is this?"
I'm sorry. What? I'm not saying that's terms for divorce. But I feel like I would need counseling because I'm not trusting you. That's
I just looked at her and I was like, "What is this,
ma'am?"
So if I can't get Bustelo, if I can't get Bustelo, I get Cafe El Moro.
Yeah,
but I like my coffee. It has. I actually. So I'm not a big fan of a lot of coffee places.
Yeah.
Mainstream coffee places. I won't say names, but that's because I like the actual taste of homebrewed coffee. Yes. I love the taste of coffee. Yes. I don't want, and I hate it because they'll always ask you now, do you want caramel or macchiato, or would you like something mixed in? Would you like some vanilla syrup? I'm not.
Some
I
hazelnut.
Just want to taste the coffee, please. Just let me taste the coffee, please.
Maybe some brown sugar.
But then the coffee tastes like ass. So then you need the syrups. So I'm like, I can't get coffees when I'm out.
That's so valid. Like, those are fancy sweet drinks. Like, when I want a fancy sweet drink, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a fancy sweet drink. When I want coffee, like, there have been times where I'm like, I want Hispanic coffee. And I have a Greca. I have the espresso maker. And I will pull it down. I will grind my beans. They're not super espresso based, but it'll work. And I will sit there and drink a big ass cup. I think I made one time when a friend came over and I calculated it was like over 1,000 like grams of fucking caffeine in one hit. And they were like, are you going to be okay? And I was like, I'll get some heart palpitations, but like, it's fine. I live. It's fine. Caffeine does nothing to me. I drank it progressively, though. I didn't do it in one hit, realistically, but
yeah. I don't like, another thing is for me, like, so growing up, so my mom, I don't know, call it the fickle Spanish mom.
Yeah.
But for us, like, we didn't get creamer and all this stuff.
No.
We used just our milk.
Yeah.
It was just milk.
Milk and sugar.
And the damn coffee.
Yeah, that's
milk,
it.
Sugar. There you go.
That's it.
And so it's hard because, like, I'll never forget my wife when we were first getting it, when she moved in and everything, she's like, here. I'm like, what the hell is sugar bread delight cookie? What is this sugar cookie?
Yes.
What is this? And it was so funny.
Yes.
Because I'm just like, no, now she knows. Thank God, because that would have been a deal breaker. So now she knows. Cafe Bucelo, milk.
Yes.
I don't care. Whatever milk we got in the fridge. I don't like the fancy shit. If anything, half and half. Do not put sugar in my milk and then put it in my coffee. No sugary stuff, please.
So
I will add the sugar as I need.
My grandma, how she always did it, she takes like a teaspoon of brown sugar, like real brown sugar, puts it at the bottom of the cup, pours a piping hot coffee on top, it melts, and that's your coffee. So every time I go see my grandma, that's the coffee. She's like, ¿Tú quieres café? And I'm like, of course. I'm like, how am I going to say no to like the tradition of like the morning and the evening? Like I'm going to have, yes. And like, I like café con leche. Like I'll put some milk in it, but I know when I'm having my people's coffee and when I'm having American coffee. So like,
yes,
when I moved to the States and I tried like American coffee, I was like disgusting. I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, what is this coffee that you call coffee? This isn't coffee. And so I assumed that I never called it espresso. It was just café. This espresso is café. That's it. There is no in between. Like, there is just in my heart of hearts, espresso is coffee. That's it. There is nothing else. Everything else is watered down. And I don't want it half the time. I drink it now because I live here. But that was like an experience moving to the States. Like, if you know, you know. That's all I got to say about that. So
it's taste. And it breaks my heart because some people, they're like, no, I'm a connoisseur. You got to taste the notes of coffee. And I'm like, I don't care how bougie you want to make this. Coffee, it's a soul. It is.
No.
Like, I tell people, so I started drinking coffee when I was 5.
Same.
And my dad told me that if I didn't drink coffee, I would end up like my sister. White.
Oh.
Mama. So listen, my dad is Puerto Rican.
Okay.
My mom is Puerto Rican German.
Okay.
And with our family genetics, the second born always comes out very light. So like my mom is very fair skin with light, with the light hair. And then my sister, who is the second born because I'm 1 out of 3, she is very light brown hair and pale skin. And what was funny was my dad be like, if you don't drink your coffee, you're going to end up like your sister. He's like, you're going to lose your tanness if you don't drink your coffee.
Oh my God.
So my mom didn't know he was telling me this until one morning.
The trolling.
Drinking coffee. And she's like, you're drinking coffee? You giving her coffee? And I'm like, Mommy, I love this. Like I'd go to my friend's house and it was, mind you, this is little Geronimo going, I take the coffee if you have any. And they're like, your mom and dad let you drink coffee? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, Daddy does.
Yeah. And I'll never forget that experience. Sitting at the table, just swinging my legs. It's like 6 a.m. Daddy's getting ready for work, pops me down with my cup of coffee, and I'm just in heaven. I love it because it was just so warm and inviting.
Yes.
I loved it. I really love the flavor. Yes.
Yes.
And it was an experience. And then my mom comes out and she just starts, I just in my head, I could just still remember. And I'm like, oh. I'm like, okay.
Oh, she mad.
Because sadly, because my sisters were born in Puerto Rico. I was the only one not born in Puerto Rico. I was born in Connecticut. I was born up north.
Wow.
So I'm a no sabe. I'm no sabe.
No, not the no sabo kids.
Yep. Because what happened is when after they had my siblings, they were like, we want to move to the mainland. We want to make sure they get, they speak good English, et cetera, better opportunities.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I'm an Osabe kid.
That makes me so sad. Like, I think it makes me sad, not because you do not speak the language, but the amount of prejudice that no Sabo kids get.
Yep.
I hate that shit.
On Twitch, I had Latina as a tag.
Yeah.
Because I still very much consider myself. I am still
you
very much
are.
Latina.
Yeah. Like, I don't.
However, I'd have people come into my stream and they would start talking in Spanish. I'd be like, I'm like, no habla, I'm sorry, I'm a no sabe que blah, blah, blah.
Let me
and
at
then
him.
they'd be like, you're not a Latina.
Throw me at him.
Get that. They actually, so sadly, I actually was bullied enough where I took off the tag. So I don't wear the Latina tag.
I will beat you into putting that tag up.
It was really sad. And
that makes me angry.
And then like, it's hard because like for me, so my dad my dad, bless his heart, he passed away.
Oh, I'm so
from
sorry.
Cancer.
Yeah.
But at the end, because now this is it's amazing how the human brain works.
Yeah.
Because my dad, mind you, my dad spoke fluent English.
Mm-hmm.
Spanish is his first language.
Same.
But when he has a tumor in his brain, and sadly during his last days, he only remembered Spanish. He forgot all English. And I don't speak Spanish. So it encouraged me. So like I've been doing Duolingo, and like I'll tell people like, and they come in, oh, you're not. I'm like, I can kind of hold a Duolingo conversation.
I will talk to you in Spanish.
It's not going to be that. And then they're like, well, why don't you talk in Spanish for the next hour? And I'm like, well, first of all, my community would not understand, and it would not be fair to them. I go, and number two, how dare you tell me what to do? And it's hard. There's a lot of no sabe kids get a lot of crap.
I really hate that for you. Like, as someone whose first language was Spanish and who primarily grew up between Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico, I get the opposite end of like, oh, you're so much more Latina, you're Hispanic because you actually know the language. And I'm like, the identity fucking crisis that a multicultural child has? I'm too American for my Hispanic brethren.
Yeah.
And I'm too I'm too Hispanic for Americans. Like, I'm not good enough for either or.
High school was a mess because of that.
It's shitty.
Because there was, it's just the way they make you feel. It's so funny because when you think of all the other different cultures there are out there, you would never go up to someone and say, you're not this because you don't speak the language.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think that. So it's a lot because I'm like, even with my my ex-husband.
Yeah.
His family, they called me a lot. So a term, sadly, that we get called a lot, no Sabo kids, is whitewash.
Yeah.
Oh, you're whitewashed.
Yeah.
You're whitewashed.
Yeah.
So on my wedding day, they all went outside to drink because I was the whitewashed bride.
Wow.
It stunk. It stunk.
I hate that for you.
It was horrible. It was like what should have been a really good memory back then was actually a bad memory because, my parents, they very much, they embraced our culture very much. We visited Puerto Rico. I visited my abuelo and my abuela. We went ahead. We cooked. My mom taught me how to cook the foods, everything. I know my culture and I'm very proud of it. The only thing is they didn't teach me Spanish because we brought me up here. They wanted better for, and I don't even want to say better. They wanted, how would you word this, Momo? It's like they want more opportunities.
Yes. Like
here.
I totally get that in a slightly different tangent because for my mother being Dominican, for the longest time being in Puerto Rico, people would ridicule her because they would just assume that she was dumb because Dominicans are automatically classified as stupid. They were for the longest time. Oh, you're not like super advanced. You're not modern. You're just country. You're gross. You're uneducated. And so Dominicans specifically, because the dialect of Spanish that I have is a big mixture between like Dominican and Puerto Rican, but I always default to Dominican Spanish. And we are called literally the ghetto Spanish of the islands. Puerto Ricans do too. That's not to take away from that either. But exclusively Dominicans are like further down the line. And we're like, oh, you're speaking ghetto, you're speaking gross, it's uncultured, or it's like uneducated. And it's like, why are you saying this kind of shit? It's super gross. Like, it's just the passive aggressiveness of like no sabo kids or, oh, you're light skinned, or you're American in this. And like, and all of that to preface, you know, the follow up with your statement. It's like coming to the States is like a way for people who have experienced that prejudice because they want to avoid that with their kids. So if they don't teach them the language, they assume that their lives would just be better without potentially realizing like the additional struggle that comes with your own community when your kids don't know the language. Like my brother went through that. So I have a half sibling through my father's side. He's younger than me. And he would get ridiculed all the time by our own family because he didn't know Spanish. He sounded like a gringo. So everybody would be like, oh, el gringo. And he couldn't help it. And he obviously kept practicing. He got better. And like now he speaks fluently. He's a grown ass adult now. But like, what the fuck? Why would you say that to your kids or to like your nieces and nephews or grandkids? Because that's not even just in Spanish. I've heard that with like people who are half Japanese or Japanese and grew up in the States. And it's probably true of other cultures as well, which really ticks me off because you're discouraging kids from further learning an additional language, connecting with their culture, potentially garnishing like resentment towards their culture, their people, their language. It's like, what's wrong with you? So I'm sorry you have to go through that.
It also went, you know, it works. It's hard because there's not only like that I don't want to say racism, but there's not even it's like but that separatism within the Spanish community. But then during the 90s, early 90s and 80s, believe it or not, there was not a lot of love for Hispanic people during that time either. My dad, when he came over here, because my dad met my mom when she was in Connecticut, and then she met him in Puerto Rico again, and then they got married. But when my dad came here, he had even in his ending days, heavy Spanish accent. And the thing is, when my dad came here in America, he went ahead and I'll never forget. He told me the story. He ordered a damn milkshake. He asked for, this was when back in the day when they had a banana milkshake available.
Okay.
He asked for a vanilla.
Vanilla.
He said vanilla.
Yeah.
That's how he said it. However, the lady heard him say banana. So she gave him a banana milkshake. And I asked my dad because, you know, it's weird when you meet someone and you ask them, hey, what's your favorite milkshake? And they say banana. So when I was little, I asked my dad, I was like, Dad, because we would go to Checkers. And I said, hey, Dad, when did you realize you like banana milkshake? It's because it's random. Usually people say vanilla or chocolate.
Yeah.
And he told me I couldn't get the lady to give me a vanilla.
Oh,
and she always gave, and so she always thought I was saying banana. And she gave me banana.
Oh,
so
no.
I literally, like, I don't know if it altered my brain at that point, but my favorite flavor milkshake is banana. And I always had it with my dad. And that's how, you know, he goes, eventually I got vanilla. He's like, but I realized I like the banana. Started laughing.
Oh my God.
But there was, you know, and they don't stop to ask you to, you know, it's hard because people think, oh, different language. Let me speak louder and slower. It's like they're not dumb. You're not helping them.
No,
Stop it.
I hate that. I remember one time, I think when I visited Japan the first time, I had visited a former friend at the time, and he was fluent in Japanese, but he was a Black man living in Japan, teaching for that matter, but he was fluent. And he went into the 7-Eleven and was talking to the guy, speaking perfect Japanese. He's like, oh, no English. And I looked at my friend and I looked at the guy and I'm like, he's talking to you in Japanese, bro. Like, don't. What? So like that same shit translates in different cultures still. It is gross. Yeah. But like, I'm glad he was able to like banana milkshakes out of that.
It cracks me up.
Cute,
so
though.
Ever since, if I can, I'll get the damn banana milkshake. I'm like, banana.
Yeah.
And it's hard because another thing that I remember growing up with is, so my mom's side, my abuelo, he was very much, the ladies had to be, like, if you have ever seen, have you ever watched the movie La Bamba?
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but that Spanish stereotype of the ladies need to be ladies. You need to be in dresses.
Oh
you
my
need
God.
to dress feminine. It's very heavy. And so for my mom growing up, you know, needless to say, my nana, is she's German. So my mom became a tomboy, but when she'd see my abuelo, he got mad because she was in boy clothes, which was her brother's hand-me-downs that don't fit her. And it was a big thing. So when we were getting ready to visit Puerto Rico, my mom had a panic attack, and I couldn't understand it because I was a big tomboy growing up.
Wow.
And I couldn't understand why she was hyper, you know, having this panic until I went to Puerto Rico and I understood that was the culture. It's very much, you know, and there's a lot of, I don't want to say chauvinistic views, but early on, I mean, there's been a lot of change, but not so much. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm right with you. I'm on the same wavelength as you. I get that all the time. Like I literally just got that a couple of months from my grandmother. Bless her soul. I get where she's coming from, but I don't ever say I'm heavily tatted, but like I have a 3/4 sleeve. I have tattoos on my thighs, on my calf, on my sternum, on my ribs. Like I have, and on the back of the other arm. So like I have 9 pretty decently large tattoos. And gonna get another one. And I constantly have shaved my hair on and off. Like I've had my hair down to my butt. I've shaved my hair with like clippers to 3/8 of an inch. I don't care. I do whatever with my body and my appearance, whatever I'm feeling. And so all of that to say is when I visit again, I'm like getting dressed, I think literally to leave that day. And she's like, "Oh, sweetie, don't get any more tattoos." And I'm like, "Why?"
Because your body is your temple, and the Lord does not want
that. So I also have I have 13 piercings. I have 9 tattoos, and like, it's this whole mentality of like nobody's gonna like you if you're this tatted and this pierced. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, girly pop, Suicide Girls was famous for a reason. I just was too scared when I was younger, and I had no tattoos or piercings to get into that shit. I'm a whole fetish for people, okay? Like legit. Like I know it sounds horrible, but I own it because like my entire like aesthetic is like literally hundreds of thousands of people's like legit fetish. So I'm like, I'm good. Bessie, like somebody's gonna like want it someday. It's fine. It's fine.
Don't worry.
Don't worry about it. Look,
don't worry.
Look. There's a content creator. I always forget her name. I follow her on TikTok. She made a video. And it was a woman telling her, like, the modern woman doesn't know how to keep a man. And she's like, keep a man. And she goes, dick is common loot. And I was like, damn. That's real, though. Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to insult you, but it's kind of true. Anywho, I'll be fine, Grandma, because I'll be getting another tattoo in September, bearing any issues. Anywho.
Okay, Grandma.
Yeah, so like I get it because like I also don't really wear dresses. It's funny because I did very much a tomboy. Rubber Meg, yes, Cam, yes. I hated wearing dresses and skirts and all that shit growing up. So my family was like, "What are we supposed to do with this thing?" So like what you said about your mom resonates really heavily with me because it was, why can't you wear makeup? Why can't you just wear a dress? Why can't you just be girly? Why can't you just sit like a girl? Why can't you act like a girl? And I'm like,
do you want to know how hard it was? So difficult. Why? Listen, you don't have any makeup. You have no makeup. Why don't we get you makeup for Christmas? Because I want the Yu-Gi-Oh! Dueling deck. I want the makeup, Mom. I want the Yu-Gi-Oh! Dueling deck with the
oh my God.
I want the Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff.
I want the fucking like I've been a Tamagotchi fan since I was a kid, but I was like, I wanted a PS2 so bad. My mom was like, if your dad gets you the games, I'll get you the console. My dad got me the games. She never bought me the fucking console.
No, there'd be
I was a straight A student with scholarships, no friends. I didn't go out. I just wanted the fucking PlayStation.
Okay. Talking on that same damn thing, that same topic, damn it. Let me tell you. I didn't go to clubs. I didn't do any of that. I didn't, none of that shit. I came home.
Yep.
Okay, I came home.
Yep.
I did my homework.
Yep.
I just wanted video games.
Yeah.
My friends were having parties. I could. No, you can't go.
No. Sleepovers? Never.
No, never.
Nobody came over. I never went to nobody's house.
No, but you know what? At the same time, you sat there with video games. Are they talking about demons?
Yes.
Did they mention demons? No, you can't play
You
that.
can't have that. Oh my God. It's so funny that you said that because like you just unlocked the memory. So I remember one time my mom was doing my hair. You remember those little like
memory unlocked.
Yeah, my mom doing my hair. It's both good and bad. So you remember like the little boom boxes that we all had like in high school? And it would put CDs, and sometimes it still had the cassette insert, and it would also play the radio. So I was listening to Queen of the Damned while she was doing my hair.
Oh,
and let me tell you, my mom's like, "Why are you listening to this devil music when I'm doing your hair?"
Bless you. No, I saw it coming.
She's like, "Turn that shit off." And mind you, it's all this, apaga esa mierda. Esa música del demonio. Yo no quiero escuchar eso. And I'm like, okay, got it. Bet. Like, cool. Yeah. So like, I didn't really play a lot of video games at home, but the one game that did make it through, like generationally, like meaning me, my mom, and my grandma, was Tetris on the Game Boy. We would all fight to fucking play Tetris on the Game Boy.
Because it's like dominoes.
Yeah.
That's why it's tiles. For some reason, tiles. No, that's serious. That's an actual game.
Oh my God. Is that why they loved it?
That's probably why. You never thought.
I did it. I was 8 years old.
No, when I went to Puerto Rico, I will never forget. I had my games with me. Nothing clicked. My cousins wanted nothing to do with me because I was no sabe kid. I didn't speak any Spanish. My cousins didn't want to play. Oh. All of a sudden, I started touching that domino, and they showed me their games. Yep. And it was all Tetris. They had Tetris. I couldn't stop laughing. And I was like, "You want to play the dominoes, though?" And
my God. You know what? I could not
stop laughing.
I feel like we need to figure out a way for all of us. Like, we can probably poke Gabi. And maybe like Red or Lala or a couple people, and like have a round of dominoes on stream.
And if we can't find digital, there's got to be a way where we can like hook up our cameras and just something. Because even if we can't, you know what would be funny?
What?
And I'm thinking this: you have to host it, though. You have to.
I have to host it. Okay.
Red, Gabi, Lala, me and you playing Uno.
Oh my God. I'd be down.
Thing I can think of.
Look, and I think, Cheshire. I think Tabletop Simulator could do dominoes for us. Like, oh my, but then we would need El Ron. We would need Bacardi, or like, we would need the rum too. Like, that's part of it.
It's funny because on my throne I have. If you ever
wait, let me see your throne.
On my throne, I got the deuce. Look,
Send me that link. Send me the link.
I'm gonna send it to you. I got literally the Uno set with the Puerto Rican flag.
Oh,
listen, it's so stereotypical. But to me,
I don't give a fuck.
Like,
let me see that shit.
That was live.
Let me see.
Hold on.
Oh my God.
I love you, Momo.
I love you.
I
love you so much. Look, we connected that one time, and it was like.
Here we go.
No, I just don't have enough time. I want to hang out with all the fucking people all the time. Wait out there.
Tell me if you can see. Yeah, there you go. You can see the image. Dominoes.
Okay.
I don't think people understand, like, that's whole wars.
It's only $15.50?
Listen, whole wars were settled with dominoes.
Look,
the world,
yo.
The world could be ending, but there'd be dominoes.
Some of the best memories that I have. Yes, hurricanes. Oh my God. So my mom's side of the family comes from a very rural area in the Dominican Republic. So like everybody knows everybody knows everybody's kids, everybody knows everybody's grandkids. So if you done fucked up doing some shit, your parents was gonna know. Full stop. Period. We would lose power constantly. So like if you had a generator, you had money. If not, you had gas lamps and candles to light up your house when the power went out. Or the water would go. Like, to the point where then we would go wash clothes in the river. That's how rural that shit was, right? So, like,
you know, people don't know what a washboard is. I asked.
Really?
I brought it up, and someone asked me, "What's a washboard, Geronimo?" I was like,
"I'm sorry, what? People don't know what a washboard is?"
I had flashbacks, but some of the younger people do not know what.
Don't call me old on my own stream.
I'm trying to find a kinder way to say that. The people who are
that I'm a hag.
No, never.
You know what? I'd like to think I'm a pretty hot hag. I think I'm a hot hag.
You put the H in hag.
Look, hold up. I'm gonna send you a picture. So I've been working out a lot lately. Probably in the best shape of my life, probably now. And my ass looks fucking fire. I already am Hispanic and look really fucking good because Hispanic, right? But like, this ass is popping, like full stop. Hold up, let me find that picture. I'm like so proud. I've shown chat. Hold up, where the fuck is it? These two shots.
Here,
the second, I already showed it to you. Look at that second picture. Okay. You don't tell me that ass is not fat.
I'm kind of giggling at the Gengar on your phone. It's cute.
Oh yeah, I love my Gengar. I love Gengar boy.
Gengar. I know.
I'm like, nah. You know what? Do all hags look that good?
Speaking about butts, so listen.
Look.
Many times we know the Hispanic culture is known for their butts.
Mm-hmm.
I have a butt. But let me tell you who else now has a butt. It's not always a good thing. My son has a bubble butt, and I am laughing because let me tell you the problem with this.
Oh.
When you are a young kid and he's about to be 13. The problem is the shorts, when you try to find a good pair of shorts.
Yeah, they're gonna be too tight.
The back lifts, they're too tight.
They're too tight.
So I swear it's so funny because he came out of his room with shorts on and me and my wife looked at me and she's like, "What are those?" I go, "Those were his shorts. Those are shorts." She's like, "What?
Is he going out like that without he going out caked up like that?"
I was like, "What happened to my kid?" And so I had to sit him down and I had to tell him. I was like, "Son, we gotta talk." And he goes, "What's wrong?" I go, "You can't. I know you like your Yoshi shorts, but
they gotta go. They gotta go."
And he goes, "What do you mean they gotta go?" I'm like, "Buddy, your butt's popping back there. You can't wear these out. I can't let you." So then he put on another pair. Yeah. And they were basketball shorts. And they used to, quote unquote, go below the knee. But now, because the butt takes up the extra space, they're above the knee and they look short. So it has been a growth spurt difficulty challenge to find baggy pants that the butt does not lift. And I don't, and you see guys, they're always like, "Oh, we love a girl with a butt." No. But the thing is, when you're a guy with a butt,
yes, man,
it can be a bit difficult.
It's a bit difficult with your clothes and with whomever you're trying to attract, whatever you're into. Because I know women like ass on dudes.
I'm sorry. I told him I'm sorry. I go, "Listen, I'm sorry." I go, "Your dad has a butt. I have a butt. It's that Hispanic heritage. Yeah. It's right there. Just
be proud, my little guy. One day there's going to be someone that loves you and you're going to love them back. And consensually, they're going to be like, "I love your butt," and rub it.
Wait till he wears a suit. The pants. That's the other issue. Because what's funny is my ex-husband had that problem when we were getting fitted for his tuxedo. Man. Is that dress pants they'd be tight back there usually. So it is a phase that he will have to.
Yeah, that'll be an experience. Like, there's a couple people that I'm like, if you wear a suit, I think I will either become a creature with no brain or pass away. Because I don't think I could handle the reaction of certain individuals in my life having suits. Like, a female friend of mine got like 3 or 4 custom suits when she went abroad. And I already thought she was a very attractive woman. And then she's like, "Oh, I just got these suits and I'm feeling myself." And I'm like, "Girl, I be feeling you too."
Let me tell you.
I'm like, be happy that you was across the pond, because I too.
They are glorified.
Ooh, look, a tailored suit.
Oh, stop.
Like, tailored to you, not just one off the rack. No, one that fits every single crevice, fold of your body to complement you. Mwah. Delicious.
If an old man named Miguel has not felt up your crotch line to make you that tailored suit, you did not get it done right.
Somebody please clip that.
Tailored suits are beautiful, and I highly listen. If you ever can, I don't care if I'm 80. I want a tailored suit at least once.
You know what? Maybe I should get one day. I would love to have a tailored suit, because, like, as a woman, AFAB and femme presenting, I have moments where I'm like, I would like to appear more masculine, and I also have broad shoulders, naturally, and because I lift. And I feel like if I were to have a 3-piece suit, with like with a vest. Fortunately,
Ooh.
unfortunately, I have a large chest, so I have to like keep them in check. But like a vest with like obviously no sleeves. That's how the vest works.
Ooh.
With my broad shoulders.
One of those like dress corsets they have.
Oh yes, the male corset ones with the oh my god.
Ooh.
Yes, all of that. I feel like you know what? Maybe I should do that for like my birthday next year or something like that. And like
send me pictures.
And just like get like a full blown suit. That can be like a full blown suit, like shoot of myself. Like, because my ass finna be popping and so are gonna be my shoulders. And then I can have like the jacket and do like the whole off the shoulder thing, like holding it and like lean on a fucking wall or some shit. My 5'2.5" ass. Be like, I would need to find someone to like cabedon as well with the vest, but I would need a stool of some sort, like a step up to make sure that I like pin them right. The leg up on the bench. Yes.
And just a little bit of ankle showing, you know.
Yeah, a little bit of ankle. No, I would have to have crew socks. I can't be showing you my ankles. That's some slut behavior, baby. I'm just kidding. That Catholic guilt be coming in every once in a while. I can't be showing you nothing. Like right now, I could be like, here, you want some clavicle? I'm like, yeah, you like that? Fucking filthy. I could technically show you my clavicle, but I ain't gonna do that. Alternate cabedon is the leg up on the bench, though. I am pretty flexible. Man, that's an idea. So instead of cabedon you with the arm, I'll just cabedon you with my leg.
Yep.
That works. I could do that. I feel like that's much more aggressive. Would it be more effective? I guess I am like splitting my legs in between you. So yeah, I guess so. There's too many scenarios going through my head right now, chat, that I don't think they're TOS appropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like you and I are like closing our eyes. And
I think we've traversed in this.
You and I are like processing.
We're both like zoning out, thinking and imagining. We're like,
yeah. I'm like from both ends, right? Because like to be the giver and the receiver here would be like great. It's fine. Like, yeah. You know? Huh. Anywho. So that suit, huh? With Miguel. Maybe I'll look into that one day. I'll get like an actual suit because like I do like wearing dresses, but I feel like whenever I decide to like buzz cut my hair, I feel like having a suit would just elevate it.
Oh yeah. It would take it to a whole level.
Right? Maybe like shave my sides and have like a curly top because I kind of want curly hair still with like when I donate my hair because I'm growing it out to donate it so they can make like wig for cancer patients.
I've done that twice so far. Chat has had me do that.
I need to ask for feedback on that because like I have curly hair and I don't know who to donate my hair to.
I will send it up. Hold on.
Tú eres mi tesoro. Bam, bam, ba-da-da-dum. Oh yeah, ads in 2 minutes, chat. Thank you for hanging out. But yeah, I'm gonna be doing that. And then I'm gonna be like, I want to do like a curly, not bob, but like curly pixie cut. Oh, happy early birthday, Pine. Let's see.
I was gonna say, now your hair is not permed, right? It's natural.
No, it's completely not dyed. I've barely put any heat to it. It's completely natural.
Perfect.
So
this is. Send you this. There's this one.
Yeah.
Because what they're gonna ask you to do is like they'll ask you to put it in a braid first.
Yeah.
And then.
Okay. I just wanted to donate my hair because I have like 3B, 3C hair, and I don't really see wigs with that hair with that curl pattern. And I wanted to donate my hair so someone that has similar hair pattern, like hair curl patterns, could have a wig that resembles their natural hair. In conjunction.
I think it's so important. I think
it really is. I you know, my mom was a double breast cancer survivor when she was alive still. And so I remember when she lost her hair, and that was really impactful. It's like I remember when she lost her hair, and it was like a very crucial, sad moment in her life because, like, obviously as a woman, your hair was really important, especially in like the late 90s, early 2000s.
So, I'll add this. I don't know if this is a Hispanic thing. My dad was very proud of his hair. I don't know if that's a Puerto Rican thing or what, but my dad was damn proud of his hair. And like you don't understand. That was my dad's pride and joy. He told me one thing. He goes, listen, kiddo, it's not about the makeup.
Yeah.
It's about the hair.
Yo. Your dad, it sounds cool as fuck. So base.
So when they told him, well, we'll have to shave your hair to put the stickers on for the the brain cancer treatment and everything, he goes, no, you just shave patches. I'm gonna see if I have the fucking picture. I'll send it to you. They shaved patches.
That's amazing.
To let it go. He goes, if I die, I'm gonna have a head of hair. We could just put some hair back on those patches.
Yes.
But you can't. What he goes, once you shave it all off, it ain't coming back. I couldn't stop laughing.
I love your dad. Your dad sounds phenomenal. I had a few friends that were AMAB when I was in high school in Puerto Rico, and they loved their hair. Like their hair was such a big part of them. And they would take care of it and they would style it. So like, I think it's on a per person basis for sure. I don't know. This song is also so good. But yeah, I like the fact that my hair is long. And I didn't realize how long it was until recently when I started like pulling it to see how far back it went, and it's like midway in my back. So if I straighten my hair is going to be like past my shoulder blades, and I'm like, damn.
There's the picture, Momo.
Oh, Ayombe, and he had and it's peppered. That's lovely. Like that's all pepper. Hell yeah. No, that's the way to go.
Yeah, he told them. He goes, no, once you shave it, he goes, listen, let me tell you this. He goes, I'm old. Yeah, I want my hair. he goes, this hair, I've kept it great for years.
It looks really good.
Shave the patches. Well, my dad, bless him. My parents were all about taking care of themselves. Yeah. So, like, even though they were older, like,
yeah. Honestly, Mithra, if I would say donate it. Someone could benefit from that. And it costs $0. Oh, man, your dad looks amazing in this second photo.
You know how old he is in that photo?
Man, I just know that he was dangerous when he was young.
66.
What?
My dad was 66 in that photo.
I'm going to refrain from saying what I want to say.
He was a good looking man, and he had green eyes. Now you don't see anything like for Hispanics. Usually you see tan skin, brown eyes, dark brown hair. Yeah. He had green eyes because in his family line there was French, and he got that from one of his ancestors, and he was the only kid out of 7 kids to get the green eyes. And I was like, that's why my eyes are green for my model.
Yeah, your dad. Your dad was dangerous when he was young. I could tell. I saw that picture and I was like, this man has traces.
So my mom just gave me a picture of my dad when he was in his 20s. Hold on.
Oh my God. I'm scared, chat. I'm about to start having a crush on kiddos.
He was a handsome man.
Yeah, he was.
He was the one on the right.
I could tell already.
And that's his mom next to him. They called my dad, it was so funny. My dad was called the Little Prince because he was the youngest of 8 siblings total.
That stash is baller, by the way.
Hell yeah!
That stash is so good.
So Metal Gear Solid has a special place in my heart because Solid Snake has the same damn
mustache. Look, I already knew. I saw that second picture of your dad when I had like the full face. I was like, that man was attractive as hell when he was young. And even now in this picture, he's still an attractive man. Like you could tell there's so much personality and so much interest, like depth to his persona that I would love to have sat down with your dad and chatted over coffee.
Tell me that's not such a Hispanic photo, though. I'm trying not to laugh.
It is. Everybody has those family pictures where they're all like crushed together this, though. We all do.
And it was all about the hair, though, Momo. And he didn't have I don't know what it would be called. He had the Spanish hair where it's not the straight, it's not the wavy. It's like I almost want to say like permed. Yeah. It's very tight curls and very much he had to wave it back. He put the oils in. Oh. My dad was all about he got to put the hair oils in, reduce the frizz.
Damn.
Spray that cologne before bed.
Oof. Smelling good, looking good. Damn, you just trying to murder everybody in your path. Oh my God.
But he always told me the hair, Momo. It's all about the hair. So if you ever want to donate hair, chat, by all means, you have no idea how much it means to those who need to get, because you can tell a bad wig from a good wig.
Yeah, you really can. And I was doing it for my mom many, many months before she passed. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this for her. And I didn't tell her because at that time we were actually no contact for a variety of reasons. And so I was like, you know what? She went through that. I want someone to not have to feel so left out with the wigs that are available to them. And hopefully my curl pattern will match their curl pattern and they can have a wig with that curl pattern so they can feel more like themselves after that chemotherapy. You know what I mean? Or for whatever reason that you've lost your hair, whomever. And that was important to me. And then like my mom passed that same year when I made that decision, unfortunately. And then I just kept doing it. So I'm on finally year 3. Year 3 and 3 months. And so I'm probably going to cut it after this summer so that I can wear hats for the fall. Woo! BDs! I'm so excited. I have a lot of hair, chat. So like wearing hats is like enough. I can't do that. So I'm going to be excited to like be a pixie cut girl and do that. But yeah, if you have long hair and you're thinking of cutting it, and if it's long enough, please consider donating it. It's going to make a difference in somebody's life.
And it's okay if you have grays. So if you there's a few different organizations that you can send your hair donations to. Some of them are more particular and will be like, listen, if you have more grays and you're kind of in a salt and pepper phase, please don't send us it. Some places will take it. I know like the one I even sent Momo, it's okay if you have grays.
Yeah.
It happens. They want to make these wigs look as natural as possible. I mean, I have grays and I think it's funny because I started graying at a young age. I was in high school and I was like, I'm graying.
Already? Oh, wow.
I was graying in high school. I was graying.
Damn.
I'm old.
No, you're not. Shut up. No, you're not. No, you're not.
Look, I show you.
I got a little patches of gray now, but it's all right. It'd be all right.
I'm feral gray. Like I think I'm salt and peppering possibly.
Ooh, okay, but that's attractive.
But it's only in the front. It's only in the front. Weird. It's like I'm like Storm. You know how Storm has the streak?
Yeah,
I have one
streak.
I have a solid streak. It's on the right side.
Wait, isn't that's Rogue, not Storm, right? Rogue.
Is that Rogue? Yes,
Rogue.
One day I want to be like Storm when I'm older.
Man.
Please.
I wish if I could be like a 10th or a 15th as attractive as Storm is, I'd be happy.
Oh.
But yeah. I would be happy either way. A money piece. Yeah. There's somebody that I used to follow. God, what the fuck was the name of the show on YouTube? Her name is Claire. She does like a lot of baking. God, what was the name of the show that she was on YouTube? Fuck, what was the name? They want to be a 10th when she is Storm. Yes.
Even just to be her hands, man. Oh, Storm.
God, what the Claire. God, Claire cooking. Let me see what her. Yes, Q. Yes, Claire Saffitz. Yes, I forgot the name of the show that I discovered her through. I know she does. She has her own YouTube channel. She has like over 1 million followers, and she's crazy out here trying to manifest the hotness of Aurora. Wait, what? Oh. My brain is special. But yes, Claire Saffitz. Thank you, Q. I love you. My one brain cell popped over to you. I appreciate you. But yeah, she has like this beautiful like rogue like streak that you're describing in her hair. She's had it for years. My puns. Look, I love you. It's okay. And it just looks really good. Like I started graying out earlier than I expected. Bon appetit. Yes, it was Bon appetit. That show kind of sucks as they treat their employees like crap, but we're not going to talk about that. Tangent, baby. Tangent. Where'd my pick at?
The little possum ears. I want to pet them.
Oh, yeah. I'm so happy.
Your little possum.
I love them. I need to make sure that I'm like behind people because if not, the tail like looks like it's hitting their face. So like, see how it twists and it went behind your shoulder? If I'm too close in the front, it'll like hit you in the face. I want to be pretty one day. Like I want to be a baddie. Look, you're already a baddie. If you recognize a baddie, that means you a baddie. You know what it is to be a baddie. So you already a baddie by default. That's how you know. I'm just going to throw that one out there. You good. You good. You just got to like showcase it on the outside because you can be a baddie on the inside and not look it. That's right. Game recognizes game. Period. I got one eye, not level. Oh, God. Where's my streak? Where's my hair streak? Where's my picture?
Oh, you want?
I was like, I'm just sitting here waiting for the window. I'm like, where my picture at?
Let me see.
Let me see that hair, baby.
This is the hair now because it's a massacre.
It's fine.
I think I sent you this picture.
I think you might have.
I was telling you.
Is that the one?
Like, I got these grays, girl. I got grays.
Yeah.
But like, if I actually if I flatten that and that's bedhead. Sorry. I'm sorry
cute,
for
though.
showing you.
That's cute. No, that's cute. Messy. I like it. But like messy in a cute way.
I don't know why this picture came out the way it did. So pardon. I'm not old lady who can't take selfies. But like you can see the streak there. You see what I mean?
Bitch, you fine.
But you see the streak, right?
I do. That shit's hot.
I just have a streak.
Look, that's hot as fuck.
So funny.
Look at your beautiful face.
So one of my lore stories that I tell people when they're like, oh, why do you have 3 colors of hair? I'm like, listen, it's actually all white underneath. I just went full gray. Y'all stress me out. That's what happened.
Look, my job's stressing me out. My job's sucking the life out of me. I'm like, stop being a vampire. Go away. Like, ew. But we're going to go back to our questions now because I actually had a set of questions to ask you.
We have
traveled, like been around the world and now, I can't find my baby. I don't know it. Sorry, anyhow. I was supposed to ask you questions and we just went on a tangent and I'm honestly okay with that because like the ADHD is going to ADHD and we love it. So it's cool. So let's talk about your design. Obviously, you're a VTuber, but not everybody's going to know that you're a bat. So explain the lore behind your design. Why a bat? Why the colors? Yeah.
Why the colors?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I already told you my eyes are because of my dad.
Yeah.
10%. I was like, you know what? I need to incorporate that in here. Because when I did my design, I have chronic fatigue.
Okay.
I'm generally tired a lot all the time. There is nothing they can do about it. There's nothing for it. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted a creature that slept a lot. And it turned out the little brown bat sleeps for like 18 hours.
I love that.
18 hours, gets up, and then for 6 hours goes and collects food for itself and its family and comes back. And I'm like, you know what? I never related so much.
That is so cute.
I never related so damn much to a creature in my life.
Oh my God.
So there was a lot of cat girls, okay? I know a lot of people think sleep, cats sleep all day. I'm like, I really don't want to be a cat girl.
Yeah.
Nothing against our fellow cat girls or cat boys. Nothing against them. I wanted to be something else.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I can feel this bats thing. Yeah. I'm feeling this little brown bat in me. We're both brown. We're both sleepy.
Yeah.
I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
So that's where the bat part came from. And then for the clothes, I was like, okay, what did I wear in high school?
Oh my God.
This is literally, you can buy all these clothes online. I got the trip. I don't know, like, am I able to raise myself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God. Pants, you had money.
Listen, these are compression socks, okay? I want you all to know these are called compression socks.
I have a pair.
They're great for you. Yep, there you go.
For flying? And then, perfect.
And then right here, boom, just
trip pants.
Trip pants. That's all.
Look at 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. How many belts we got? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 belts. 5, 4.
The chains.
Yeah, the chains. The multi pockets. The
butt flap.
The butt flap.
The butt flap. Look at this butt flap.
Yeah, the fucking plaid. You know what? If you were wearing plaid in high school, you were probably some form of LGBTQIA plus. Because
exactly,
I was sporting plaid since I was in 7th grade. I should have known I was gonna be gay.
Right. It's like a side. And then the feet. I loved gargoyles growing up.
Oh,
and I was like, you know what? Yes.
Yeah. Demona, Goliath. Oh my! Just
listen. The original monster fluffer, right there.
Yo. I literally said it last night. I was like, as a child, Goliath unlocked something in me.
We all knew he was getting it on with the cop girl, okay?
No, it was lore. It was lore. They adopted a kid afterwards. So I was so mad. I wanted to be her.
And that's just where everything's from. It's just literally my wife picked my hair color gradient.
Oh.
And then my son said I have to be fluffy. So that's why my ears I got my fluffs.
I love it.
And that was basically it. It's just high school. See the old school. Remember the jelly bracelets?
Yes.
And the wristbands? There you go.
Oh my God. You literally are like a picture of our high school, like goth life.
Yes. And then what ended up happening was, and some people, if who've maybe been to an interview or two, know, but I used to not anymore.
Were we also a face streamer?
No, I was in the BDSM lifestyle.
Oh, same.
And for a while. So I have my necklace is actually.
Oh, I know what that means.
An ode.
Yeah.
To my wife.
I love that.
To my wife.
She has the key.
Yep. It's funny because some people are like, oh, it's so cute. I get it. She has the key to your heart. I'm like, yeah,
sure.
We'll go with that one.
Yeah. It's so cute. Yeah. Look.
And it's so funny because people have asked me, they're like, I think they automatically think, bottom top. And I'm like, no, I'm an opportunist.
Yep. You take what you can get.
I am an opportunist. I do what I do. I'm just there for the ride.
What's the vibe? What's the mood?
Right. Exactly.
Variety is a spice of life. Why sit idly in one title when you can just be all of it?
Exactly. So it's funny when I see all that stuff going around on Twitter too. Like I follow only tops and bottoms. I'm like, no. You know what? I follow whatever my libido wants to.
That's right.
What am I feeling?
Base.
What am I feeling?
That's so fucking base.
That's why I also have my wedding band.
Gotta remind people, look, I'm an internet slut, but I'm married.
Right? I'm like, listen. No, my wifey and me, we do what we do, and
that's right. Look, I can be loyal and faithful and look at shit online, chat. Simple as that. And
it's funny because you tell people things like, lore. If I had to give myself lore, this was my lore. Are you ready?
Yeah, give it to me.
Okay. Back in the day, when there were caves and witches were hiding in caves because they were being hunted and killed, a witch was packing up her shit to get the fuck out of Dodge. And she dropped her wand, and when she dropped it, she didn't realize it. It broke in half, and the magic hit this cute little brown bat that was minding its own damn business, and it zapped the bat, and the bat fell on the floor, which is why I don't hang upside down like a bat, because I'm afraid of heights now, because I fell.
Oh, no! Poor baby!
It's also why it's so funny. I always tell people, I go, listen, people ask me, oh, do you look like your VTuber? No, I look like my bat form. Okay. Have you seen my bat form, Momo?
No. Yes. Momo. If I did, I don't remember. Give it to me.
Listen.
And I'll show you one of my different forms.
And then I've had people ask me flat out. They're like, "Oh, well, why are you so fluffy?" And I'm like, "Listen, because I don't fly anymore. I got fat. Okay."
Oh my God.
I got fat.
Oh my God, that's so cute.
Okay, I got fat. My mods started taking care of me because they found me and felt bad, and they fed me all the foods. So now I'm all like this.
Oh my God, that's so cute. Chat, what the hell? I feel like my other forms aren't as adorable. Hold up. So I got this version because my community was like, I miss your PNG version of you so much. Hold on. I need to load here. Hold on. And so wait.
My God.
Hold up. Wait.
You are the cutest possum.
There we go. My glasses. There we go. I got a coffee cup too. Here, I'll take this off. Bam. Yeah. So
I love it so much.
They mix this one. Because this is what I used to look like before. Yeah. A little bit more animalistic, but I'm also true to my Tama self, which is probably like one of my favorite versions because Tamagotchis. Hey, what's up? I'm a Tamagotchi. Bandai, please don't ban me. I want to be your official Tamagotchi VTuber, please.
I want to shake you. I just want to shake you.
My little thing dangles. I can also eat and I can poop. I did a little shit. I can cry.
That is too cute. Look at the poop, but the poop.
And then I can get angry. And then I can feed myself.
You are
pizza.
You are the whole meal. Pizza. Ow.
And then I can also eat ice cream.
The fact that it is active, like interactive, is just it makes me so happy.
I did not expect so much cool shit. But yeah, the poop is my favorite. It just stinks right there with me.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. So you're true to your form and I'm true to my electronic form. Mm-hmm. But I love, oh my God, you're such a cute little stinky baby. I love how chunky you are.
That's what it is funny because I've had people tell me, they're like, why are you a fat fluffy bat? I'm like, listen, I'm fluffy because my mod Reaper tried to blow dry me. And that's what happened. Ever since I poofed out.
Yep.
And now I'm secretly kind of chunky out here because of the fact that my mods just feed me junk food because that's all they know to feed me.
I would love it if people were to feed me food like that.
Yep.
But alas, we can't all be fed. So I'm happy for you. I love that you can move your fucking wings. Oh my God. I love bats. Yo, look, that is a body that I can love. I will hold you and I will rub you and I will squish you. Oh my God. I fucking love bats so much. Like, I just do. Like, I don't know what it is about bats. I just love them.
Like, and that's the thing. Like, I wanted to be, how can I word this? I love horror. I really do.
Same.
But I didn't want to just be scary, if that makes sense. I'm like, listen, I love horror.
Yeah.
But I'm so damn goofy. I can't.
Yeah, no, I get it.
And yeah, I rock the punk rock look, but I'm also just fun and I love cute shit too.
Yeah.
I love, so I'm like, what can I do? And I'm like, you know what? This is what I'm going to do. So that is where I got my look.
I am a mixture of like cute and macabre mixed together. So like I have all these cute pink and purple things in my room and like a whole bunch of stuffies. And then I have a whole wall full of bugs. So like I have the death moth from like Silence of the Lambs. I have like a grasshopper. I have a locust. I have butterflies. And then I have art. Like up on, actually here, I'll just take
Art
a picture.
The clown.
Yeah, hold up. I'm gonna take a picture of it and send it to you real quick so you can see. But like I have art that correlates with the pieces that I have of the bugs like hung up on the wall. And it's like one of my most favorite things because I want to get more like framed bugs because I think it's gorgeous and it's beautiful and artistic. Like,
I have a few friends who actually are really into that. Like,
I love it.
Do you make those yourself?
No, I bought these. I've wanted to learn of how to like do it. Like I have a friend, she's well known for like growing moths and butterflies now. Tala Loves Art is her name. She has blown up on like TikTok and on Instagram. I had the pleasure of meeting her many, many years ago. And so I remember once I was like, oh my God, I really want Luna moths. And she had some pupa. And she's like, I can mail them to you while they're in pupa form and like package it really well. They'll live and it'll be expedited. And so I got the pupa and it hatched. And so I literally got to watch 2 Luna moths like come out of their cocoon and like live in my room and like fly around and like have them. And I was like, oh my God. And I wanted to frame them, but I didn't know how. And like one of them messed up their wings. And I was like, no.
Oh, no.
But they're beautiful. I love them. And so like, I just love that kind of stuff. And every time I like try and show people like, look at my bugs, they're like, ew, that's creepy and gross. And like, I have a deer skull because my boss hunts. And so he found one. He's like, here's a whole deer skull with like all the teeth and stuff. So like, I get it. I'm like super cute and cuddly, but then I also have all this other stuff that would creep the shit out of people.
Listen, there's a few members in my community, some who do bugs, some who do taxidermy. And
I love taxidermy.
I think it's just really interesting.
Yeah.
I actually, there's a conference called Unusual Oddities Expo.
Yeah.
Oh, and I plan on going, and I'm so excited because one of the things you can do there is dissect owl pellets. What? And I know that sounds really like icky to some, but to me, like I'm excited.
Yeah, that sounds cool as hell. Like I would love to do that. Let me move myself a little bit. I'm a little bit too big here. There we go. But yeah, I love all like taxidermy. I love like bug framing. Like I just love all of that. And I think what I love most about it is like a lot of the bugs that I have are very unique. Like the locust that I have, it has pink and green wings.
I was gonna say, is that the pink one? Yes.
Yes. Like these are their natural colors. So like it's amazing to see all these beautiful colors on like these creatures that most people don't really like. But I don't care. I love them. I think it's great. So anywho. But I get it. I totally. Oh, do you want to move forward? Like you move forward real quick. Hit your model for me. Like as if you were moving her. I need my tail to not go in front of. There we go. I was hitting you. And I was like, damn it. Oh. No, don't let me whip you with my tail.
Now I got a nay-nay.
Oh. This is what I was saying. I got to be careful. If not, I'm going to hit you with that.
Your cup is missing.
Oh shit, my cup. You're right. I'm sorry.
Listen, it makes me happy because then remember, my son is Dominican, Puerto Rican. So it's
that's right. Yes. But it looks like you also answered like 2 of my questions in the process of describing your lore, which is great. I'm like, we love it when a bestie answers multiple questions in one. We love it. So we also covered like hobbies. So like besides being into oddities, what are some of the things that the bat likes to do on their off time when they're not streaming?
Sleep. Well, let me listen. I'm gonna be real with you.
That's fine.
It is so funny because people think I'm crazy. I like to sleep. I genuinely like. And this is where sadly my chronic fatigue also kicks in because I could sleep an entire day away.
Yeah.
And it's not. And it's funny because for a while it was like, oh, you're just, my mom would be like, oh, you're just lazy. Well, we found out. No, I actually have chronic fatigue.
Yeah.
And it sucks. And like even coffee and the wifey will tell you, I'll drink coffee, but I'll go right to sleep afterwards. I'm like, all right, good night.
Yeah, that's me. I'm literally drinking coffee right now.
Yeah. And she's like, how the hell do you do that? What do you, and I'm like, that doesn't keep me up.
No, it don't.
I'm like, that just puts me right to sleep. That's a warm, comfy drink.
Oh, people don't get it. Coffee makes me so comfy and warm. And like that feeling of warmth is so comforting that like you want to go to sleep.
Yeah. It's happy times for me.
Yeah.
Happy trails to you.
Oh my God. Look, I can sleep a lot, but I also want to do a lot of things because I'm crazy. Like,
exactly.
I did so much shit today. It's not even funny. Not even funny.
But I think in my free time, first of all, I love thrift. I love thrift shopping.
Oh yeah.
I love it, especially if you're working on an art project. So I'm really into arts and crafts. I went to college for art.
Ooh, okay.
I really enjoy being crafty and figuring out how to the DIY projects are my favorite. I love them.
They're so fun.
I've been doing Gundam builds again, which is amazingly fun.
I love them.
We've been working on the Wing Gundam together, and it's just been amazing. I love it.
God.
I got a Pokemon Gyarados Mega Blocks build that I want to do too.
Oh man.
I love them.
I have so many builds. I have an Exia. I have one from Witch of Mercury that I have to build. Soletta's Gundam. I have like a couple, I think right now on display, I have a whole bunch of Unicorn Gundam versions. And then I have the Master Grade Death Scythe in there.
That's the one I want next.
Yes, it's so good. It's so good with the Death Scythe and everything he's holding it. I'm like, oh, I love it. So I get it. I have a couple of Gundam builds that I need to do. I've debated doing them on stream, but I feel like I did a single Lego build on stream, but I was like, I don't know if people care about that. And like, especially with Gundams. I was
shocked that my community actually just enjoyed chilling with me as Gabby and I were building. But it was really nice. And
I love that. Relax. Okay.
But thrift shopping, man, I love thrift shopping. I love being able, even antique shopping.
Yeah.
Too, go to the antiquities. Oh my God, I love it. I love it so much. And then like another hobby of mine, which I know it sounds so silly. So silly.
Never.
I am getting into perler beads.
Oh, that is not silly at all. Perler art is so bomb. What are you talking about?
I have it literally all set up so that when my little man leaves Tuesday to go spend the summer with his dad and my family, I'm going to be doing perler bead art.
Okay, I want to see pictures of that.
I will say I planned on it.
Please and thank you.
One of the first people I thought of.
Yes.
So I was like, another thing is I've been going ahead and I think, where is it? I can't find it. But I've been wanting to learn how to do a lot of stuff like on my own. I love baking. I'm a huge baking person.
Okay.
And if I can do it on my own, I'm gonna do it. So, like, example, something I've been wanting to learn how to do is I've been really into different types of bread baking.
Oh, yes.
I love cooking. And, like, that's the biggest thing I've been wanting to learn. I've also wanted to do stuff with hummus.
Yes. Okay. Hummus is so easy to make.
Hummus is so good.
So good and so easy to make. I just sent you a picture of like these brownies that I baked the other day. I found the recipe on TikTok. They're lemon blueberry brownies. They have white chocolate in them. So they are brownies. And it's a blueberry reduction on top of the fucking brownies, by the way. When I let that shit cool and I ate up, like, I'll drop it in live stream. I think I dropped it in the food channel, Celadon. I'll drop it in the live stream chat right now. But when I pulled that sucker out of the oven and I took a bite, I threw my fucking fork. I did not expect the recipe that I got from TikTok to be so damn good. Hold on, where's the live stream?
Let me tell you, there was a recipe going around on TikTok. And it's funny because people ask me, what do you do in your free time? I'm on either TikTok. Thrift shopping, I'm either looking at recipes on TikTok. One of them was a short that my son and I tried. It was you take a box of cake mix, and it can be spice. They prefer it is spice cake mix, a can of pumpkin puree, and a bag of chocolate chips, and that's it. And you make a pumpkin loaf bread, and god damn.
Yeah, look, here's the video. Because I know you are already interested, so here's the link to the TikTok.
Oh, yes.
And this bitch has such an aesthetic. Like, what I mean, an aesthetic to it. Wait, is that the wrong? Well, that's that's another cookie that I want to do. That's not the right one.
It's
but
okay. You leave that one. You leave
Nutella
that one.
stuffed chocolate chip cookies, by the way, chat.
Oh, my God.
That's the next one on the baking list for me. And then I'm going to pawn it off on my coworkers because they ain't no way that I can eat all that shit by myself. Hold up. Let me get you the other.
No, Nutella stuffed cookies. Listen, I know Nutella mostly consists of sugar. Okay, I hate when people sit there and they're like, look, did you know Nutella is this much sugar? Bitch,
who the fuck cares?
I want it.
Look, I'm that bitch that goes to Costco and buys the 2 fucking set of Nutella to have at home.
Listen, so with my wife being gone, my son went up to me the day she left. He goes, can we get Nutella?
I'm dropping the recipe in live stream chat for y'all.
That ain't no damn yes.
Everybody says it's not a brownie, but a brownie is what? Chocolate in the flour mixture? It had white chocolate. It's fine.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is gorgeous.
Worth it, chat. Worth it.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's honestly, I like to bake a lot. I like to cook a lot. I'm Hispanic.
Yeah, we love to feed people and we love to eat.
We love to feed people. I love to cook. I love my wife to give me her opinions. I'm like, do you like this? Okay, hey, I'm trying this today.
Yep.
Do you like this? I'm gonna try this recipe.
Yep.
You know, I'm gonna do this. The other day, I tried a recipe with some cream cheese and Dijon and some garlic and some chives and stuff, and it was in a pan sauce with some chicken. And I'm just like, she's like, I love you.
That sounds amazing. Like an amazing dip too.
It was, because then once you ate it, you could dip your veggies. Because I made asparagus, and we just covered it. I was like,
yo, that sounds good.
I love cooking. I love
it too. Me too.
And I like plants.
Same.
I really like my succulents. I just got a new planter for them, and now I've got to take care of the excess pieces and replant those because they could turn into other little succulents. But I really love plants. Yeah, and that's kind of it.
I just sent you pictures of my fig tree. It's giving me little fig babies.
I'll send you my plant.
Yeah. I have a couple pothos inside, and then I have a garden with rosemary, mint, bee balm, a tiny surviving strawberry plant. My rosemary kind of killed everything. It like exploded. But I love her. She's great. La vuelta, danza kuduro, donde pase ahora, fiesta. Oh my God, I love that decoration. I fucking love succulents.
And it's so funny because like people, I sent you pictures of my fig tree. Why won't you respond? Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Killing me. But it's so hard because a lot of the time, and I'm gonna say this, and I say this with so much love, sometimes people are like, hey, when you're done streaming, you want to play this game, you want to do this, you want to do that.
Nah, bitch, I'm tired.
No. Believe it or not, like I'm not as young as I used to be.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's like, listen, when I'm done playing a game,
I'm done.
I wanna go touch grass. I
Yes.
wanna go to sleep. I wanna go drink a nice drink. I wanna go talk.
I wanna go out
I
in the
wanna go
sun.
Oh, and I like watching, like, odd facts about history, like, and it's so
Oh.
funny. My wife makes fun of me because we'll be sitting there in bed and all you hear of is, "In medieval times, they gutted the man and dipped his body in honey, then put his body into the" my wife's like, "Great, I ain't gonna have nightmares. Thanks, honey." And I'm
But
like, "Listen,
baby, don't you wanna hear about
I
medieval torture back in, like,
right?
the, like,
I
1400s?
listen, I love it. I love it so much.
I love that.
I love history, like, little
Oh
weird
my
things
god.
about history, like,
Mhm, mhm.
the best what is it? What was it? Oh, what was the video? The most angry women of history who got
Oh,
revenge. That was a good
yes.
one.
See, I would
You'll
watch
be
that.
surprised. And I loved watching that. Another one was what is it? Real life real life serial killers. I know
Yes.
some
No, no,
people
no,
be
no,
like,
no,
"Are
no, no,
you
no.
okay?"
That is my jam. Tell me
Do you
more.
know there was an old lady and she actually turned people into burgers and sold the burgers. And she was in
Okay.
she was in it from a she oh, it was another country. I wish I knew Imma have to find that video for
Send me
you.
that shit. I love that shit.
But, like, and she was just tired of people. She said and that's what literally she said. She said these people annoyed her, so she turned them into burgers and sold them.
Okay, but, like,
Could
people
you
freak out when I'm
imagine?
like, "Oh, my favorite serial killer." Like, "Hold up, you have a what? Why do you have a favorite serial?" I'm like, Doesn't everybody have a favorite serial killer?" The silence is deafening.
Hold on, I'm trying to find the
Oh. Chat, do you all not have a favorite serial killer? Uh, oh. You swimming? I guess I'm swimming alone. Thank you, T. Okay. I got somebody on my team. I know killer. Oh, God.
Oh, I'm gonna have to
Ah,
find the I'll find it after, but still,
you're
I
fine.
like things like that because
Yeah.
call me crazy, but I think it's interesting. The human mind is an interesting thing.
Yes.
Another one I like cold cases. I like the
Yes.
one where there was where they do the where people have the interviews of the interview and they have like the crime
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
interviews,
Yeah.
interrogations, that's
Yeah,
what they
yeah, yeah,
are.
yeah, yeah.
And then they analyze it for you and they go
Mhm,
through and they're like,
mhm.
I love those. Like
Those are
there
so
was
good.
one where the woman was like, "My son would never do that." And there was a head in his closet and that's where the smell was coming from. And you found out he did do it and she's just like, "He would
Mhm.
never." And
My
it's like,
sweet baby boy,
yeah,
nothing.
and some of them are very heartbreaking. There's actually I think the movie's called The Lovely Bones
God
and
damn
that's
it,
based off
Jing.
a real one, and I love those kind of things. Like, ah, a
Hmm.
bit
Cold cases
spooky
are good.
and spooky, but so
Mhm.
is the Addams Family, and we love
Right?
them.
I
But
love the
still,
Addams Family. It's like, oh, you what was it that what was it that Morticia told Gomez? It's like you terrified me. Do it again. And I was like,
do it again. I love
ooh.
that part where they're in
Oh,
the room.
yes. And then the lighting
Yes.
that they did on her face, like
Oh,
Jennifer
always.
Houston, Angelica Houston, I'm sorry, not Jennifer Houston. Angelica Houston in that movie. Woo!
Mhm.
Like that also unlocked something in my brain. Super feral. Like, something. But like I get it. I'm right there with you. Like cold cases and all that stuff. Like when you see the interrogations and they're like, you can see their mannerisms started changing, the way they were holding their hands, the blinking, the looking, the turning, like all of those things. I'm like, the psychology behind it is insane. Like, if you're into cold cases
Oh.
or like serial killers, American Horror Story Hotel.
Oh yeah.
Yes, that's a season for you. My favorite killer is Alec Baldwin. Sorry for director. Oh my God. Brutal. Brutal. But yeah, I feel alone now
I'm
because
sorry.
like that.
I
No,
love this damn
no, you're
song.
good. Keep dancing. I don't care. That's the whole point of this music. Like you're like vibing with. I'm like, yes, let's go.
Listen, I loved Enrique. He's a douche, but I love you,
Yeah.
Enrique.
Look, Enrique is a pain in the ass.
His
Bailando.
dad, what was it? Was it his dad who's Julio Iglesias? Right?
I have no
Yeah, his
idea.
dad is Julio. My see, it's funny because
Bailando,
my parents knew Julio. My mom was
bailando.
like, "That man was not a good
Oh,
man."
I'm not surprised.
Like, "Mom, are you saying he's a hoe,
Bailando.
mom? Just say it."
No puedo más, ya no puedo más. Look, the music is good. Like, this is why people be getting it on. Crush on Julio Iglesias. Oh, did she? Ya no puedo más. Vivir contigo, bailar contigo, tener contigo una noche loca. Besar tu boca. Yeah.
So she's saying dance with me.
I want to be with you. I want to live with you. I want to dance with you. I want to have a crazy night with you.
Yep.
With a tremendous note. So like, AK, we're getting it on. Whoa. Okay, we have.
I wonder why we have so many, why Spanish people have so many kids.
Red, I would just say find somebody who makes PNG tubers, or you can literally use a pickeroo.
But I don't know where to start. Any tips? Do you have a character already for yourself?
Yeah, that too.
Because that's a loaded question. Because the first thing I'd ask you is, do you have a vision of yourself?
Yeah, that
too. Do you have a vision that you want to show others?
That's really important. I feel like pickeroo helps a lot with that because like a lot of people let you do that, and you can use a pickeroo for that.
Believe it or not, also like. God, the music
another
is good.
banger.
Sorry.
La vida será tu sonrisa, será tu sonrisa. Algo en tu cara me fascina, algo en tu cara me da vida. Oh my God, sorry. We'll get back to that question, but this song.
You know what, though, Brad? Even if you can't draw, oh God damn it, the pickup!
Look, the fucking horns. Sorry, the Hispanic blood is. I have to dance. I have to. En tu cara me fascina, algo en tu cara me da vida. Será tu sonrisa, algo en tu cara me fascina.
Even if you can't draw, an artist appreciates whatever you can do to show what's going on in your head for them.
Like, if you just do it in written format, like, what do you visualize? If you can't draw, maybe you can write it out. And then utilize different tools to like create, like there's so many different pickeroos and different things that allow you to like add all the features that you like or the aesthetic that you like. And you can start that would be like, oh, this is the idea that I have for the hair from this. I like these ears from this thing. Or like, I like this character, or you mash up a couple characters, whatever. Yeah, make a mood board. Algo en tu cara me da vida. God, this song is so good.
Hit me with the next question. I'm ready.
Yes. No, we've been covering it. So obviously we're 2D. Did you ever consider doing 3D before?
Listen. With these hands.
Oh, look. If I had 3D, it'd be over.
I talk with my hands, okay?
Same.
I always tell my chat, I talk with, like right now, I'm smacking my hands.
Yes.
I am an animated person in real life. And because I use a 2D model, I have to be even more animated. So it's like a lot of animation. So I have thought of 3D, and I would love that, but that's money. And I got so much other stuff I gotta do.
The goal for me one day is to do that.
At the same time, I'm like, okay, it's money, but could I use that money elsewhere?
That is true.
I got bills to pay.
Yo, for real.
I got some other stuff to do.
And today's day and age.
Well, I even considered, I talked it over with my community, and I considered doing a 3.0. But the truth is, I'm like, I love my model. So I just did, so for like my 4 year, I'm just overhauling and updating, like, emotes, cleaning up a bit. And
that's No, nothing wrong with that. You don't have to do all that.
3D, I'd be too powerful.
Oh my God, we would blow up like in our own space. Like if you could see all the hand motions that I'd be making half the time, like when I start singing, I'd be grabbing my mic and like, AKA my Apple Pencil when I'm drawing, and I'd be using that shit as a mic. I'd be fucking swinging my arms, although like right now you see me moving, like going crazy, right? But like my hands are moving around. Like they're moving with me.
So I have thought of just doing some face cams sometimes too, because there's just some shit that's like, example, since I do a lot of horror games, sometimes I think you need to realize how horrified I am, and I feel like, so let me tell you,
not just drop the shadow, like, oh,
I have the stereotypical arched high definition Puerto Rican brows. Okay, these bad boys are my emotions.
Like
okay,
this?
people say I wear my heart on my sleeve. Exactly. They're like, oh, I wear my heart on my sleeve. No, I wear my eyebrows. Okay, my heart is in my eyebrows. You can tell what's going on with my damn eyebrows. My eyebrows were so powerful. I had to have my rigger help me actually redo my eyebrows for the model.
Yeah,
it was that bad.
Yeah.
It was that bad. That is why we have a clip. So that's where the hair clip right here came from.
I love that.
It was also an ode to my mom because I always wore my bangs in my face, and she would be like, "You always have your hair in your face. You got to put your hair back." No. So I'm like,
my goodness.
Mom. I actually sent a picture to my mom, and I was like, "Look, Mom, I got this for my model, so now I can have my hair back for you."
The emo popping off right now.
Hell yeah. But yeah, see these eyebrows now.
Yeah, chat. I love it when I give the side eye and I'm like.
I think I have my eyes linked, so I can't do a blink like that, but I can still wiggle my eyebrows. Well, let me tell you what happened. I winked once and I never do it again.
What?
I winked once. I just winked once. I went like, eh. And I've never felt, what's the term they use nowadays? What is it called when you feel silly?
I'm not quite sure.
Hold on. My brain .exe is stop working.
Application is
cringe. I felt cringe.
Oh, man, I am cringe. I just don't care.
No, it was bad. What are we listening?
It's called Payaso de Rodeo, like the clown of the rodeo.
Oh, that's
I feel like this is a mixture of like Mexican like music.
The funny thing is, like, my dad loved country music. He actually got me into country music. So like guitar stuff, I don't think people realize we wouldn't have a lot of the rock music we have if it wasn't for the country.
Yeah.
We had to have that guitar start somewhere, okay?
Yeah, that's
fair. And then someone finally said, we're going to pick this shit up and go, bam, we got there.
Yeah, look, I get it. I live in my cringe. I love it. It's fine. You're not cringe, you're vibrant. Thank you. I'm just very high energy because I have nowhere to put it at. Although this is actually like calm because I worked out for like an hour today. This is like actually tired. Unlink them. Wait, you can link them? How?
Link your eye blinking.
How do I do that?
Camera. If you hit the camera in VTube Studio,
and
you go to tracking settings, it says link eye blinking. It's the second bubble.
Yeah. Always?
Link eye blinking. Yeah.
Never?
Yeah, I have it set to always, so my eyes will always blink in unison, not just one eye. I hate to say it, but sometimes you see a VTuber and they're talking and like one eye will shut and the other eye open and the other eye, you're just like, why are they doing that? See what I mean?
No, I'm doing that on purpose. I have mine when face is rotated.
Oh no, I'm gonna do never. Here we go. See, so now I can go like that.
Like they all do the same thing for me. That's weird.
But yeah, if you ever though watch a VTuber and you see like their eyes, not like Momo was doing where it's like one eye automatically down like that, like this here. But if you automatically see like their eyes start twitching rapidly, it's because they don't have their blink.
Oh my goodness, that's so funny.
There, I did it, but no, I didn't. I feel silly.
Oh, can't do it. I don't care anymore. I'm just like, if you can't handle me at my cringe, you can't handle me at my greatest. That's it. You gotta ride the cringe with me. Like, I just rewatched all of the entire Twilight Saga. I'm immune to the cringe.
My father-in-law's favorite movie is Twilight.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Sir. Like the first one, or are we talking like New Moon that had good?
The whole saga.
I enjoy the whole saga. Listen, I really do.
It made me smile. I love my father-in-law.
That's amazing.
I do. It just, but no, I will tell you right now. 3 days ago, with Sam Gamer 101, we watched all of Skibidi Toilet.
Oh no, I haven't done that.
Nope, I did it.
I'm not gonna do that.
And then I watched Matt Pat's deep dive on explanation on Skibidi Toilet.
But
I am
why?
very Skibidi versed because they're coming out with a movie done by Michael Bay for it. And I wanted to understand how they could have possibly made a movie out of Skibidi Toilet.
We're spending money to make a movie. Money. Not you, like somebody was like, I want to make a movie about this.
Michael Bay, the same person who brought us Transformers.
Yeah, and that's why I'm like,
Yeah.
You want to, out of a goddamn shit post.
Let it sink in. Let it sink in. Let it sink in.
I don't want it to sink in. I want this to be fake. Like, I hate the timeline we live in.
It's, you know what? Let them go. I'm just waiting for them one day to say, you know what, we're gonna make a neon. What is it called? The neon cat with the pop tart kitty. The movie.
Yes,
the movie.
You know what? I would watch that.
I'm waiting.
I would actually watch that. I would actually. Yeah, I would do that one. But the skibbity toilet is fucking stupid. Like, I'm sorry. I guess that makes me old.
It's okay. It's okay. It makes you smart. It makes you smart. It's okay.
I don't even know anymore. I'm like, can I just be stupid?
You just exist.
Oh my God. Now I got the neon cat music stuck in my head. Like, we are definitely living in a very interesting time. Like, especially like, didn't they like fuck up the entire Minecraft movie?
We don't talk about that. I have to watch that tonight.
Oh.
Yeah.
Godspeed.
My son's so funny. He's already seen it in theaters and everything, and he comes to me. He's like, "Mom, can we watch it together?" And I'm like, "I'll watch it with you."
Oh, but yeah,
like,
that you kind of have to.
There was a heavy side. There was a heavy side there, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll watch it with you." He's like, "I promise, Jason Momoa's never looked better." I go, "Shh, son, you're so full of shit. Your eyes are brown. Don't you dare lie to me. I saw that pink coat on my man. Don't you try and butter me up. You don't have to. Okay, I know what my man looks. I saw what he was rocking, and I was not about it."
You're like, I don't like this. I don't like this.
But the fact my son tried to coerce me with Jason Momoa, he tried.
Honestly, like, points to him. Jason Momoa, like, good on him for picking that up.
That is my man. It's so funny. I have a type. Jason Momoa, just that build.
Look, and he's tall too.
Mm-hmm.
How tall is he? Hold on, I gotta look this up. Hold on.
Listen,
Jason
I
Momoa,
that man like a damn spider monkey. Okay, just like,
okay, calm down there, fucking Edward Cullinan.
I would glitter for him.
He's 6'4". Jesus Christ.
That's how tall my ex-husband was.
Woo! How the fuck is my 5'2.5" ass supposed to climb somebody that high?
Like a spider monkey. You just go feral.
Is he still with what's her name?
I like them together.
Oh, they separated last year, him and Lisa Bonet.
I like Lisa Bonet.
They were together for 7 years.
I know. I think
that's so sad.
If I remember correctly, I think they're separated and they're working on things, but that was it. That's the last we heard.
That's crazy.
Michelle Rodriguez is good looking. Michelle Rodriguez.
She's 57?
Wait, Michelle Rodriguez?
No, Lisa Bonet.
Oh yeah, remember her in the Cosby Show?
Yes, but like time. What the fuck is time?
What is time? Time is going. It's moving.
Also, I probably just scrubbed the Cosby Show out of my head because, oh my God, I can't even think about that. That's crazy. But see, now we also have Zoe Kravitz, and I'm really okay with that too. Because she's gorgeous. Who is she? Wait, who is she with? Who is she with? Oh, Carl Glusman. Oh, they got separated. Okay. She's single? Not like it matters because I'm never going to be able to roll up on her. She and I are almost the same height.
How's Michelle Rodriguez?
How is Michelle Rodriguez? I got so over her. Like, she just played the same character over and over again, and she just made me mad.
Listen.
She's 46.
Oh, I feel old now. Older.
Oh my goodness. I think I got tired of her after like Lost. I was so mad.
Oh, I didn't see Lost. The last thing I saw, I know she's in Avatar and I know she's in Resident Evil.
Yeah. Resident Evil.
You know what? Let me tell you something. I have a thing for that armor. The body armor kind of thing. So I really liked her as Rain in Resident Evil.
Okay. Resident Evil was good.
Have you seen her in Girl Fight?
No.
Oh man.
Girl Fight? Wait.
Look up Girl Fight, Michelle Rodriguez.
Hold up. When
Forget the movie. Just look at the girl.
Okay, hold on. Okay. Girl Fight. Oh, this one. I remember this. Oh, yeah. Those braids.
Listen,
and that. Okay, I'm too gay for this. And that's the first thing I said. I'm like, the braids and that pose. Ooh.
Yes.
Oh, we're talking about Michelle Rodriguez. We've like deviated. Like we were talking suits and like, yeah, realized that was right. Look, everybody loves a nice like mask lesbian, okay? Or like a mask appearing woman. I don't care what you say. They're hot for the most part. Okay? And then you be wearing that cologne like a little bit musky, like that androgynous, like musky, kind of like earthy, but a little bit of like lavender, some shit in there like vanilla, like some bourbon vanilla musky shit. Don't be walking up to me like that because I'm fucking weak.
Bye. What other questions you got to feed me? I'm ready.
Oh no, we good. We covered them all. We covered all the. We ate them all like legit, like organically. We ate them all. Like I was looking at my list and I was like, I ain't got shit for them. What's Ni cuando fue? I think we can just ask like other like career based like VTubing ones. Like what plans do you have for like your channel, your character, maybe?
What planet?
No, well, we could. If I could go to another planet, I would go.
But if I can leave, I would go.
Yeah, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Like, you know, are there things that you wish you could do with your model, or that you're planning to do with your model, or your stream altogether? Any upcoming projects that you want to discuss?
I would like to gain enough confidence to do webcam, just webcam.
Okay.
I'll be very honest. Not because how can I word this? It's not because I have anything against VTubing. I love using my model, but I feel like if I take the model down and I was able to use a webcam, you could see my sincerity, I guess. My sincerity, my reactions more. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, there's a lot of acting. Not
like
even
my
acting.
model does the great, the models do great to capture expressions and everything. But I feel like sometimes, maybe for a more realness, just to have my webcam.
Yeah.
I'd love it. And it would also, it's also a personal goal to be able to be more confident within myself,
No, I completely understand that. There's a lot that my model cannot capture. I feel like there's a lot that it does capture, like in regards to like my facial features. Because I do look around a lot when I'm like thinking and stuff like that. I do move my mouth and I do make funny faces when I'm like pensive or like rattling my brain or whatever. But I feel like a lot of like my mannerisms are lost with my model. Cause like I'm very like with my hands. Like right now you see my body shaking, but like my hands are also moving with me in the process. And so like that's why 3D seems interesting to me, because it can capture that for me. Yeah.
I think, and if I went 3D, I would just take what model I had. I'd want a, what is it called? A 1-to-1 ratio?
Yes, that's exactly what I would do. Yeah.
I would just want it like myself. Yeah. Because I'll be like, and I had to think about it and I talked to my chat a lot. There's just a lot that I'm content. Yeah. I'm content with who I am. Yeah. I'm content. It's me. But I'm like, the only thing more I guess I could give to that realness is like, I would love to do some cooking on stream. Ooh. Listen. I have now discovered the power of how to set up hand cams for Gundam building. I want to get one of those little tiny burners and do a lot of single meals and maybe cook some little tiny single meals. And then
I would love, I need to figure out how to do like cooking streams, because I kind of want to do a cooking stream. And it would probably be like a camera setup where I like just wear a mask the entire time. And I just capture like the side of my kitchen, and then you just watch me fucking make shit or whatever. Like from like top down from the microwave.
I've already come to the conclusion I can't bring my gear into the kitchen. But what I could do, like I said, and that's why I brought up like the little camping burner. Because I have a friend who is a cooking streamer, and I would love to be like, I want to get like a little camping burner. Yeah. And be able to do a lot of easy one person, meals, because let's face it, there's a lot of people who are single, and sometimes you just don't want to cook for yourself. Sometimes you're like, what's the point of cooking for myself? Yeah. I don't know how to cook for just one person. I would love to be able to do just some single person quick meal preps and stuff like that. That's something I wanted to do. And I know my wife laughed because she's like, yeah, and I could taste the food. And I was like, exactly. I'll just be like, oh, here's the wife. Come eat it. Yeah. No, I feel that. Like, I would like to just learn how to do cooking for a single person. Yeah. Because, like, I could tell you what, when I was in college and stuff, I knew how to do a lot of stuff with, like, leftover foods and everything, just
Yeah, yeah,
chopping
yeah,
it up
yeah.
and everything, and I think those streams are amazing, and I love them,
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Okay, well, now I've mastered the hand cam. Now it's all about bringing in the burner and not blowing up my life."
Ooh.
So
We
I'm
got
getting feeling
hands.
it.
We
I
got
got
hands
hands
and now we
now.
got fire.
Got fire.
Have a good night, too. Have a good night, Ford. Bye-bye.
Aw.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty awesome, though. Like, I love that you're doing that. And I feel like adding that little bit of variety to, like, keep streaming interesting and to bring either love or interest back into streaming is so important. I feel like allowing yourself the space to evolve and transform your content to what is true to your current version of you is critical for content creation.
Oh, 110%.
So I love that for you. And I'm going to watch you fucking cook. For sure. For sure.
Not just that, but like, I know now everybody's different because some people they like to have a distance between them and their community for personal secrecy, not even secrecy, what is it called, personal safety.
Yeah
they don't, and things like that.
Yeah.
For me, I don't know if it's because of how I was raised, and it's that Hispanic thing where it's like, oh, you don't got family? Oh, it's okay. I'm your family now. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Come inside. Come inside. I got food. I cook for you.
You know,
I don't know if it's that, but I have, like, with my community, I don't mind sharing shit with them. Like, one of the things we did last year was for a goal, I got pied in the face, and they pied my whole family in the face, and I recorded it. Yeah, I submitted it into the Discord, and they got to watch my son get pied, my wife got pied, and then I got pied. And instead of me getting pied, it was me, like, throwing my head out covered with pie, doing the Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh my god, I love Mrs. Doubtfire.
That's what I did. And I don't mind, I guess, I don't want to say being real, but being that, breaking that boundary.
Yeah.
Because I and it's, I feel like mom. I'm sorry. I don't.
No, don't apologize.
So cheesy,
no,
I'm mom.
I love that. Like, and you know what? There's a lot of people who need that and don't have that. So the fact that you're allowing space for that probably means a lot for them. So it's awesome that you're doing that. Like, I love to be as inclusive as I possibly can with, like, my community. And, like, I've met a few people in person now. I'm going to do that at Off-Kai. I'm scared, but
I was going to say, if you ever get the chance, did I ever get to meet you?
we're meeting. Oh, we're hugging.
I'm going to give you a hug.
Yeah, we're hugging. Full stop. Full stop.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that's just going to happen. And that's how I am as a person. So, like, when I started VTubing, it was like, well, you need to learn to be private. And, like, I'm such an open book. It was really hard to, like, have to restrict myself in that regard and, like, learn to put up those barriers for people. But I feel like I found, like, a good balance of it, because I like being open about how I feel. I like being open about, like, where I'm at mentally with people or physically. Like, I talk about my fitness journey, so I think it's important for people. Like, I work out because I want to be strong and I want to have muscles. But if you just want to work out to, like, feel healthy, have better cardiovascular, whatever the fuck it is, that's perfectly fine too. And, like, allowing space for all those different places and, like, end goals is important. And, like, that's why I have a venting channel. You need something to just get it off your chest, because if it's sitting there, I have my own spiral. So, like, I only go into that channel so often because I have to wipe it, because I allow people the opportunity to scream into the void, leave it there, and they don't have to see it ever again after I blow it away. So, like, I purge everything out of there to allow people to, like, have, like, a diary entry, and they can engage other people if they want, and then just, like, blow it away, and then it's gone. But at least you get it off of you. So, like, being able to have those spaces where, like, if you want to share, you can. If you don't, you want to ask advice, like, all of that is there. Or even to celebrate your joys. You got a W today? Oh, I walked for 5,000 steps, or I drank 32 ounces of water. Whatever the fuck it was. Oh, shit.
Oh, my God, it's got something.
Fuck. Sorry, ADHD.
No,
that's the young gay.
And ADHD just means Hispanic.
You know that this motherfucker gave up music and now he's a goddamn priest? Did you know that?
Let me take this in. I'm taking this in.
Like, when did he, hold on, Daddy
Yankee? Really?
Turned priest. Yes. A mí me gusta la gasolina. Dame más gaso. Yes, chat. Look, Daddy Yankee, the reggaeton star, retired from music to devote his life to Christianity. This was back in 2023, December of 23. Is officially retiring from reggaeton to devote his life to his Christian faith.
Wow.
He said he did that after his farewell tour back in 23. La Meta, the goal, Sunday night in his homeland, Puerto Rico. The 46-year-old singer made the announcement in a lengthy speech following a larger-than-life performance of his global hit Gasolina, this one, a song that marked the beginning of the globalization of reggaeton and catapulted him into the mainstream success back in 2004. My people, this day for me is the most important day of my life, and I want to share it with you because living a life of success is not the same as living life with purpose, the artist said, who also popularized the 2017 mega hit Despacito with Luis Fonsi, said in Spanish. Let's see. So I'm going to read this in Spanish and I'm going to translate it. Anoche tuve el privilegio de acompañar al GOAT. So last night I had the privilege of accompanying the GOAT, al que cambió la música latina para siempre, the one who changed Latin music forever, en su despedida de los escenarios, and their farewell of the scene. This is Luis Fonsi. He did it with Luis Fonsi. Te debo mucho, bro. I owe you a lot, bro. Disfruta este muy merecido descanso. Enjoy this much well-earned rest. The rest of us will continue enjoying it, disfrutando y celebrando tu música. We will continue enjoying and celebrating your music forever. No, so Luis Fonsi is talking about Daddy Yankee because they work together in music.
Daddy Yankee was big.
Yeah, he was huge. I don't know. This song literally blasted reggaeton into mainstream for like people who never knew what it was. And nobody knew the fucking lyrics there. A mí me gusta la gasolina. This is the only line that they knew.
Solina. And it's so funny because when you sit there, let me tell you, nothing, it's kind of like when you go to the anime conventions and nobody knows the lyrics to the song and there's like
Gasolina, yo,
gasolina.
That's all people knew.
When you have that anime song that has like that one English line, like we write from Full Metal Alchemist.
But like, okay, look, I know that Daddy Yankee is not like the most amazing rapper, but his music went so mainstream that it literally brought a lot of visibility into this genre. Like him and Luis Fonsi did Despacito. Like I fucking love that. I'm gonna put it on right now. Hold on. Yeah, I got you. I'm gonna add that to the queue and we're gonna skip this song. I used to sing the shit out of this song.
Just let me.
It's so good. It's so good. See. Oh. Oh no.
Hold on.
Hey, yeah.
Here we go.
Sí, sabes que yo llevo un nuevo mirándote. Tengo que bailar contigo hoy. Di que tu mirada ya estaba llamándome. Muéstrame el camino que yo voy. Tú eres el imán y yo soy el metal. Me voy acercando y voy armando el plan. Solo con pensarlo se acelera el pulso. Oye, ya me está gustando más de lo normal. Todos mis sentidos van pidiendo más. Tómalo sin ningún apuro. Despacito. Quiero respirar tu cuerpo despacito. Deja que te diga cosas al oído para que te acuerdes cuando estás conmigo. Despacito. Quiero desnudarte a besos despacito. Firmar las paredes con tu laberinto y hacerte de tu cuerpo todo un manuscrito. Why the fuck did you stop?
Sube.
Sube. El pelo, quiero ver tu ritmo, que le enseñes a mi boca todos sus oídos. Déjame sobrepasar tus zonas de peligro hasta provocar tus gritos. Es su apellido. Si te pido un beso, vendámelo. Yo sé que estás pensándolo. Llevo tiempo intentándolo. Mami, soltando, dándolo. Sabe que tu corazón contigo te hace bam, bam. Sabe que ese bebé está buscando de mi bam, bam. Prueba de mi boca para que cómo te sabe. Quiero verte con... Almost had it. Tengo prisa yo que quiero dar el viaje. Empezamos lento, después salvaje. Pasito a pasito, suave, suavecito. Nos vamos apegando poquito a poquito. Cuando tú me besas con esa destreza, malicias con delicadeza. Pasito a pasito, suave, suavecito. Nos vamos pegando poquito a poquito. Es que esa cabeza es un rompecabezas. Para levantarlo aquí tengo la pieza. Oye. I fucking listened to the shit out of this song when it came out. And yes, Kiddo was on my chest. We were just laying together.
It was a moment.
Despacito. This song is literally just about fucking, okay?
It is.
This guy is literally saying that he wants to make your body into a manuscript. I want to dance with your hair. I want to be your rhythm. I want you to show my mouth your favorite places. Let me overcome your danger zones to provoke screams and to make you forget your last name. Slowly. We're gonna do. Vamos a hacerle una playa en Puerto Rico hasta que las olas griten "Ay bendito" para que mi sello se quede contigo. Like literally, let's do it on a beach in Puerto Rico. So then the waves scream "Ay bendito" and to leave my seal when I'm not with you. Like, if that's not like literally rizzing you up, I don't even know. Pegando poquito a poquito, astrito, like to provoke your screams and that you forget your last name slowly. This whole song is about getting it on.
Is this Selena?
Yes.
Hold on. This is mother.
Bitty bitty bum bum. Bitty bitty bum bum. Bitty 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 bum bum.
Okay, we've traveled. We've traveled again.
Cada vez. Cada vez que lo veo pasar.
Poor Chat. The song is so
I know. Mi corazón se enloquece y me empieza a palpitar.
Where's my hat?
Y se emociona, ya no razona, no lo puedo controlar.
Here. That's for you.
Se emociona, ya no razona y me empiezo a cantar. Me canta así, así, así.
Bitty bitty bam
Bitty bitty bam bam. Bitty
like my
bitty
Fava
bam
hat?
bam. Yes. Bitty 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 bamba. A bitty 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 bamba. Pues.
Listen, this hat is everything.
Cada vez que lo oigo hablar. Night Red. Oh my God. Like I can literally, this entire playlist fucks me up.
Momo, we drifted.
We drifted so hard, chat. But you know what? I don't give a fuck because that's how these little coffee moments happen.
I want you to, you have to put in small letters, un cafecito, and drift. And drift. Just and drift.
Okay, let me make a note of that one. Un cafecito and drift.
And we just need to put we need an image of Momo just Tokyo drifting in a car. But she needs to have the little Dominican flag. And,
oh my
remember
God.
how they always have the little flags in the
cafecito and drift.
The rearview mirror, the little flag.
Oh my God.
Make a redeem where someone can redeem drift, and you just see a little Momo in a car drifting across the screen.
It's funny that you say that because I have like my not my raid, my God, what the fuck is it called? The hype train. That I have a little MO, like a little animation where like literally it's me on a train moving across the screen.
Oh my God, that's cute.
It's super adorable.
And now we need a drifting animation now.
Now we need
for whenever you have these
sidetrack. Do you drive? I unfortunately I do have a driver's license, but I am not into cars or like that kind of driving. If that's what you mean.
I drive regrettably.
I know, me too. I hate driving.
I can drive, but I also hate driving in big city traffic. It gives me anxiety.
Yes. See.
Okay, listen. I live my big city here is Austin. We have 9 lanes of traffic, and then there's 3 levels of it.
So I visited
2
once.
highways on top of one.
I liked it, but I also didn't drive.
No driving.
Oh
no. Like I like how we both just looked up. Oh.
Yeah.
It's like you could have just taken that moment. We were like cats with looking at lasers.
Yeah. Like, píntame.
Come on.
I'm like, what? Oh. Okay, but it's also Elvis Crespo. Like, he has banger after banger after banger.
Yes, he does.
Like,
see, and that's the funny thing is, like, a lot of people think just because, oh, you're a Sabo kid. It's like, listen, no. I grew up on this.
The music is always there.
It's there. I remember my mom cleaning. Okay.
Saturday morning, if you weren't up by 8 o'clock in the fucking morning, bust in like the Kool-Aid man. Are you gonna get up? You're gonna help us clean? Do you think you just live here for free? Yeah, man.
That's right.
I'm traumatized.
Listen, this song came on. The Fabuloso came out.
Oh my God, Fabuloso.
Fabuloso.
Where the fuck is this?
I still have to manhandle my oven, deep clean. Listen,
listen.
I am the mom now.
You are.
It's so funny. I will. So to wake my wife up, if she doesn't wake up in time,
I
will start. I literally will start playing polka music.
Why polka music?
Because it wakes her up. I don't know why, but she's like, "What is this crap?" I'm like, "It is. Do not insult polka." And she's like, and she just starts screaming. I tried Spanish music. She's like, "No, this has a beat to it," but polka apparently just hit different.
Yeah. Give me a second. No, like, I totally get it. Like, I had company come over last weekend. So I switched up my schedule and we streamed for like 3 days consecutively. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to make sure we have the 3 days. They're going to be different. And then we're going to do a couple other things instead. And the amount of cleaning, like, I washed so many loads of laundry. I picked up my room. I reorganized things. Candles were on. The bathroom was scrubbed. The dining room, everything. Like, I went crazy. I was like, I need
There's a butt in my
face.
Look at this possum butt.
Oh.
Look at that possum butt.
I'm just going to swing my ass. Right?
I got hit by
the butt. Here. There you go, my tail. That's all I can do right now. But yeah, no, like, I get it. Like, this music, I feel like a lot of people are disrespectful to No Sabo kids because, like, yes, maybe you don't speak the language, but the music is there. The food is there. The practices and the traditions are there. Like, all of that is still in there. So, like, if you hear this music and you literally start cleaning, like, it's an automatic reaction, then let's go. So, yeah. So I get it.
Speaking of cleaning, if you have dishes on your desk right now, you know those dishes, the dishes that have been sitting there that are empty, the can that is empty, and you use it now as a garbage container.
No, I don't do that anymore. I gave myself a 12 to 24 hour limit on any cups on my desk.
I'm proud of you.
I do that now.
You hear that, chat?
You know what I have right now? The one coffee cup of the coffee that I made before we started the show. That's all I have in my water bottle that I filled up today, by the way. So I have no cups, no cans from yesterday.
Yes,
thank you.
Queen.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It took a long ass time because I remember there was a time with my fucking uncontrolled ADHD. I would have 3 fucking mugs sitting on my desk for like 4 days. And my roommate was like, bitch, why the fuck are you being nasty? And I'm like, I can't help it. Not only am I an ADHDer, I'm an artist. So I have to have 15 fucking drinks at the same time. I'm sorry.
I have 3 different drinks at the same time. Before Momo came out, I made her go get the water because she was having the coffee out.
Oh my God. So, like, I didn't know that coffee dehydrated you.
Yeah. For every cup of coffee you have, you should have water with it.
Look, I have a 64 ounce of thingy of water that I've drank like half of it already today.
I'm proud of you. But whatever ounce of that coffee just subtracted from that water.
Fuck. Shit. Damn it. Okay, never mind. All right.
See, look. Rue did it too. Rue and I. Congrats. You
pinned up my ticket after my desk. Hell yeah. Look, it took a long time. Now it's like habitual. You didn't know. I did not know that. Spooky. I'm sorry. And I've been drinking coffee my whole life.
Let me tell you. Did you know? Oh, hold on. I got to get closer.
Oh. Get closer.
Did you know? What? Spooky Cat Kevin is also Hispanic.
Hi. Hello.
I ratted you out, Kevin.
Hi. Welcome in. Hello. Hi. Welcome. This is your show then. This is a show where I've primarily I've been focusing on Latin VTubers for the time being. It will be opened up to others later on, but I definitely want to focus on bringing at least one Hispanic VTuber at a time if I can on here because it's importante to me.
But discuss.
Alguien en todo cada tarde que se moría por llenarme de detalles. Fucking Mark Anthony, also a banger.
Oh, damn it. Yes, I was just going to say,
damn it. This song is about cheating, but it's because this person gave him time. There was someone that maybe when you lived your life apart, they took care of me and my heart, bitch.
There is a song that my dad always used to play, and I wish I could remember off the top of my head, but still, it's so funny because you sit there and you hear these songs, but when you actually listen to like what they're talking about and you take a moment to translate it, holy crap, holy crap.
This song is powerful. Like, it talks about cheating from the perspective of someone who's been neglected by their partner. Like, I wasn't intending on cheating on you, but while you were living your life away from me and ignoring me, this person gave me their time and they talked to me and they told me details about their life and they asked me about me and they had an interest in me and they won me over and now you're fucked. Anywho, boy, we've been yapping all night talking about all this stuff. We covered all the questions.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming in.
You know what? Let me tell you something. What? Are you ready, Mama?
Yes. I'm all ears. All four of them.
I love them. I love them so much. Listen, for me, I love it so much. And I love the fact that I'm honored that you had me on here with you. Because the thing is, when it comes to my Hispanic heritage, even though I may be no sabo and I don't know, I can't speak that much Spanish, I can understand it. Trust me. Like I can now, especially now, I'm on like day 735.
Holy shit. That's crazy.
Yeah. I've been ever since my dad passed away and he couldn't speak the English towards the end, I boom, Duolingo, give me that little album.
I feel that.
Spanish or vanish. I do it.
Yep.
But my culture, it reminds me of good times with my family.
Yeah.
It reminds me of, Christmas and the holidays with the pernil. And
oh my God, pernil.
And all that stuff. Just
pasteles.
It's
ensalada de papa.
These wonderful mofongo, like wonderful memories. And for me, like even with my like my wife will tell you, if I'm pissed off, if I'm upset, I will not cook. I will not cook because it will not come out good. And it's so funny because my son will tell you too. He goes, you can always tell mom cooks because mom's cooking tastes like love.
Oh,
and it's
I love that.
It's an honor for you to think of inviting me because it also gives me time to also positively remember my dad.
Yeah.
He was a big influence and he taught me a lot. Like my mom, don't get me wrong, mama, if you see this, you taught me a lot. But
not to discredit you, Mom.
Not to discredit mama.
No.
Mm-mm. But my dad taught me that, with the heavy accent, with everything, and with some of the prejudices, that always be proud of who you are.
Yeah.
And for you to do show like this, it's beautiful.
Thank you. That means a lot to me. I honestly didn't think much of it. I actually, for those who are new here, I started Un Cafecito to kind of like pay homage to my own history. I spent so many years of my life hating who I was and like denouncing my Hispanicness and my Latin backgrounds and like trying to just remove every ounce of my culture, my language, my experience off of me because I just wanted to be, quote, an American. And with time, I started accepting who I was, where I came from, and appreciating my culture and like feeling proud of it because there is so much richness and depth and wonderful parts of both sides of my culture, which are literally like almost siblings. Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic are so similar in food and music and clothing and culture and traditions that I never understood why there was such like an aggressive competition against one another. So like, But this show is to show the same support and like love that you have for your dad in this space and for others to see it, because I feel like there's not a lot of focus on Hispanic VTubers, besides like Iron Mouse. And
that's the other thing is like and this is nothing against Iron Mouse. No. I love Iron Mice, excuse me, Iron Mouse.
There's so many.
Like there's also another struggle that you probably will cover it. You've probably talked about it, but especially if you need to get artwork done.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've gotten artwork back and I'm like, I need you to add a little, maybe like, a fifth more melanin to my character, please.
Yeah.
And it's because in the VTuber sphere, you get so used to seeing, a lot of, I don't know if I'm allowed to say Asian themed VTubers.
Yeah.
So you've got like, this is the dragons or the geckos. And
yep.
You don't see a lot of, other gradients.
Yeah. No, that is true.
It's hard because when it comes to, color, there's so many. It's such a rainbow of color.
Yeah,
it really is. There's Puerto Ricans who are literally. I'll never forget. Shout out to Hermes, who was in high school with me. Deepest voiced Puerto Rican I've ever met in my life. He was a redhead. He was a ginger, pale skin, and everything. Deepest voiced Puerto Rican ever. He was Puerto Rican.
Oh my god!
He was a ginger and he was white and pale skin, but he's like, hey, I was like, whoa. Okay.
Holy shit.
And his name was Hermes.
Wow.
But we come in all shapes, sizes, colors.
Yeah, everything.
And it's hard because even though you think, okay, well, I know how to draw. I know how to color in this color. It's like, listen, I'm glad you do. I need you to add maybe 5 drops of orange, a little bit of green, a tad bit of brown. I need you to blend.
I've lucked out with not being whitewashed, but I did have a denial of commissions because they're like, oh, I don't know how to draw curly hair. Sorry. And I'm like, oh, okay, sure, whatever. And I just kept going. I just went and found artists who knew how to do it and whatever. So I'm hoping for this show to just allow people of, Hispanic, Latine backgrounds to be validated in your experience. Your story is your own, regardless if you do or don't know Spanish, regardless if you lived on the island, if you've gone to the islands, if you live in your home country where your parents are from, if the experience that you have is just with your family in the States or wherever the heck you're at, it doesn't matter. You're still part of that. And nobody can take that away from you. There is no checklist that you have to have, and complete or have X amount of boxes checked. Fuck that. That's not how that works. Because I've had plenty of family members even tell me, well, you didn't live there all your life. And I'm like, who the fuck cares? I lived in the islands most of my youth until adulthood. That's good enough for me. And that's not even a requirement. There's a whole bunch of other Hispanic kids that never have set foot on the island. So shush. But I digress.
I was blessed that I was able to go. I went 3 times and it was the Aguadilla. That's where my family's from.
I used to go to choir there. There was, I don't know if the program's still open, called Caba. Centro de Arte de whatever administrative. I used to sing choir there when I was younger. That's how I got to sing and perform in Puerto Rico.
It's like for those who don't know, it's like Aguadilla is kind of like a country area. It's very not country, so it's hard because when we say country, we think American country. Country over there is like it is. Some people farm. Like I know there's like a lot of chickens. Oh my gosh, so many chickens and cows.
Oh my god, yes.
But it's very much different. It's very tropical. There's also no AC. I'll tell you that right now. Fun fact: there is no AC.
Yes, Justin. Yes.
I think people think I'm kidding when I told them that. I'm like, no, believe it or not,
Something
AC is a fancy thing over there. A lot of the time, they just leave. They have it where the houses can be open. You open everything, very open concept to let air in. But only a few of the houses in Aguadilla actually have AC units.
Yeah. So that it's so rare to have AC, central AC specifically. You have the units once.
Well, the one unit that's in the living room. That's where I slept from when I visited because
Yep. Oh man.
I loved my abuelo and abuela, but I'll tell you what, I did not sleep in the guest room. No, I don't care how many guest rooms they had. Which room had the AC unit? I will be sleeping that room. Thank you.
Man.
And then the shower was outside. I always thought that was one of my favorite concepts. They had a shower where you could literally go around the balcony and just go outside.
Yeah. Man, literally pulling up pictures of the building of Caba. I'm like, damn, what a throwback. But we're going to be wrapping it up here, chat. Thank you so much for showing up. Thank you to Kiddo for being here and sharing their experience. Say thank you, chat, right now, please, and thank you. Let's see. We will be back on next week. We will be skipping tomorrow's morning stream. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Poop Troop Garbage Gang. Enjoy your new follower emotes. Thank you to GeronimoKiddo for being here. Please go check out their socials. Do you have a link that you want to share where everybody can find all your goodies? Like a card or link tree so they can go check out your content besides your Twitch?
I don't use Twitch. I'm old.
No YouTube, no Takey Talks, no Twitch.
No.
Oh, okay.
Listen. I'm going to tell you right now. I literally made a post on Twitter. I have a Twitter. I figured out how to use that shit. But that's about it. But
I'm on everything.
I'm on Twitch. No, like I have a Blue Sky. I don't really use it, but I asked.
Well, you know what to do, chat.
Twitch.
It's right there. Right up there. It's right up there at the top.
Look,
go follow them.
I'll wave.
We can wave together. Like, yeah.
There you go. Look, I got but that's all I got.
Thank you for coming on. I honestly always wanted to bring you on. I never thought any less of you for not knowing Spanish. I don't give a fuck. I will fight those people. And I'm glad that this was something that validated you and your experience. That makes me really happy.
And it gave me time to share my dad.
Yeah.
That's always a good time.
Your dad is baller. Your dad is baller. I like him. Yeah. No.
Mom, you're cool too. I love you. Thank you for teaching me how to cook.
Yo, yeah, that for real. Yes, my mom did teach me how to do that. But we're going to be rating out to a plot twist. She is doing a partner push, and it looks like she's doing Voop chat with other VTubers.
Have you done Voop chat?
I have not. I have no idea what the hell that's about. I've seen, like, I think Rainy do it.
Okay, do you remember chat? Okay. Do you remember what's it called? Like chat roulette, where you basically have the webcam and you meet random people? It's like that, but for VTubers.
Oh.
But the thing is, because I'm not sponsored by them or anything, so I could say this. The thing is, there's barely anybody on there unless an event's going on.
Oh.
Yeah. But other than that, it's just like chat roulette, but it's with...
Interesting. I'll have to check it out. But as per usual, exclamation mark merch gets you VTuber merch of me. Exclamation mark store gives you a link to my Etsy store for all my arts, my acrylic chimes, t-shirts, prints, stickers, whatever the fuck you want it to be. Check out my YouTubes. I will be uploading some stuff here shortly. Hopefully, I'm a one-person show, so unfortunately it takes me a lot of time to do all these things. So if you want to do short form media, there's also my TikTok. So please go check it out. Or just join the Discord. Just come join the Discord. You'll get an alert for all that shit too anyways. But thank you everybody for being here. What do you mean you're jealous? I'm just insane.
Oh, that organization. Except that Blue Sky.
Okay. Look, don't be coming at me like that now. Don't be coming at me like that. But go ahead and copy your raid messages, chat. I love you. Thank you for hanging out. Please go check out GeronimoKiddo. As you can see, they're an amazing human. So please go check out their content, and you can watch them do cooking streams in the future for a single person. So like, if that's what you want to do, you want to learn how to do it, I should probably tune in because I don't know how to cook for one person. So, but I love you guys. I will talk to y'all later. Bye.